Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the lane. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah. Rising with each beat of the music is bringing. We're flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're inviting the night in.
We're on to our third best of three of the day, and we get to see NRG come back after the pretty heavy loss against Team Liquid yesterday. And this time around, they've got to go against a different Polish side in Virtus Pro. It's not Kingwin this time, which we saw was a overtime slight struggle in there, guys. As Chad, you are joining us back here, and Maniac's here for the long haul of the whole day.
It feels like some time. We haven't seen each other on the couch yet. I wouldn't say desk.
I said that, and I was like, there's a little table,
it's
you know.
Table.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah. What was the last event we did?
I'm trying to think. That could have been Stockholm GMAC Masters.
That was ages ago.
That was September, wasn't it?
Yes. It feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been to Malta before?
No, it's my first time.
Your
and
first
I'm
time.
Thoroughly enjoying it.
Okay. So there's definitely the beautiful weather.
It is.
It's
Yep.
just beautiful to look at. There's a lot of history. Been going out with Matt. We've been got Sadicus. We're going out for dinner. I think people think we might have a couple at this point. We're having wine.
You had wine, I saw
beautiful
that.
wine and food. I don't normally drink wine. It's been taken away. Where can I recommend to go? I don't know if you're going to have much time. Oh, tomorrow you'll have time.
I don't know. As far as schedule go, I think I'm going to be on every game from now on.
this is
So
pretty
Me and
nice.
Maniac are now here for the
Blue Lagoon. Get out to the Blue Lagoon. That's a good spot.
Blue
There's
Lagoon.
there's a big watering. It's not a watering hole. It's like a hole in all these rocks that you can jump into. But you actually
Ooh.
don't jump
Don't
into
you about
it.
to say
No.
that sounds scary
No,
for us.
because I think you need a boat. But I think boats are pretty easy to get around here.
Yeah, I just say so. There's a lot of
They're
rich people
everywhere.
with boats, you know, like just
we can probably get
rocking
over
it.
it.
Like
Okay,
esports
cool.
money
Blue
will make
Lagoon.
it work.
The Blue Lagoon. That's why you got to. I think that's up near Goza. You got to go up. I say up. I don't know geo. I don't know where we
Yeah,
are.
are we down? Are we south?
No, we're north.
We're north.
We're north. I got
Oh.
told we're in the north,
East.
and we can see the beach from like literally this road.
East. Yeah. Well, there's a little
Yeah.
club down there.
There you
yeah.
go, see?
Yeah. And what else is there? I'm trying to think. Because I came here earlier in the year. There's some kids out there, because I went to the LAN cafe here in Malta when I was here last time.
Oh, okay.
And
You
some
couldn't
of the-
resist not playing something, right?
I didn't play. I just went to just check it out.
Okay.
But they're here watching and stuff, so they love their
Hey.
Counter-Strike.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's what we like to see. We were telling them yesterday, make sure they come down, see some Malta guys out there. And they were making some noise yesterday
They
as
were.
well, especially during that Liquid NRG game.
They were.
And that is where NRG now, it's time for them to prove that they should be in a good spot here. But my thing is the question mark now around NRG's performance, or is it going to be around what Virtus Pro can deliver? Because Virtus Pro looked a lot better today, but again, it was just against Kingwin.
I feel like the first question is, are NRG going to play to their best? And if so, it kind of already turns off any other possibility, right? But if they don't play to their best, then yeah, we can start about talking scenarios, talking about maps. Maybe there's a chance for VP, but the best playing NRG should win that series.
100%. And I'm trying to think of the way that I could say in the least amount of words possible that NRG are going to win 2-0. So that's just the fact of the matter here. This is the disparity that we have at the moment, especially in a tournament like this one. And maybe you can think of similar scenes if you look over at just DreamHack Open and Jönköping that's going on right now with Bravado beating Optic. For some teams, this is terminology that came from Tommy, Mr. Lurpus, that for some teams it's their Super Bowl, and for other teams it's just another event in the calendar. Now that doesn't detract from the prize money, actually wanting to win, all of those factors. But right now for me, and I was saying when we kicked this bad boy off yesterday, the problem for teams like NRG and Liquid is complacency, whereas for everybody else, not everybody else, but the majority of other teams, they're all vying for position right now, right? They're trying to prove that, hey, we might be worth more invites to other tournaments. We should be worth taking a look at and taking a little bit more seriously. And with those factors in mind, I don't think NRG now, in an elimination match or in a match to make it to the playoffs, are going to be complacent at all. I think they're going to give this 150%. And with that in mind, from the VP struggle bus match that we saw go up against Kingwin earlier in the day, that was, sure, it was a 2-0, but it didn't feel like a clean, concise game of Counter-Strike by any means. I think NRG should win this, even though they look like a bunch of sleeping panda bears. So they should win it. Like, they're hyped, they're ready to go. Let's go, boys.
Well, but, you know about their sleep schedule a bit, don't you, Chad? Because they were keeping you awake last night.
They're next door to me. I heard someone last night go, so they yelled, so they said Chet, and Chet is I'm a pet.
Yep.
The coach sitting behind him, and I was like, God damn it, that's who's been making all the noise next to me. But now we know at least. So, and I guess it was them that ate the McDonald's.
That solves it. Hey, that was so. When we opened up the show yesterday, Chad was making a thing that whichever team had the McDonald's maybe gives them a slight edge. It was some weird world.
There's McDonald's out the front of the room next door to me.
Yep.
You know, all the empty bags. So I was like, must be these guys.
And there we go. There's the results on your screen. So the train match against Kingwin, we did question the train pick anyway because Kingwin are known to play it pretty well. 19-16 in favor of NRG. Then the Liquid best of 3 we had yesterday, and it wasn't too pretty when it comes down to NRG. But
well, I would say that the best of 3 against Liquid was a heartbreaking one. Because really, I had the feeling NRG could do it. They could have done it in 2 maps, a few rounds here and there on Inferno that they would have played a little bit better, taken a little bit better decisions, maybe rotated a little bit quickly, and they could have done it, but then they just slightly failed on Inferno A. They got destroyed on the 3rd map. So it was really a case of, like, emotionally speaking, probably out of it after, missing that opportunity to beat Liquid, which, to be fair, they have done in the past. So there shouldn't be too much of a big psychological obstacle. They have done it. Yeah.
Well, look, here's the thing. If they didn't beat them there and they go on to play them in the final and they beat them in the final, then you go, yeah, cool, that's fine. But these guys right now, especially with the way that first map went down, the fact that the second map was so close, it's really positive signs because we don't know exactly how the North American scene is going to be looking after the next major. So if these teams, like one had fallen really flat and they weren't competitive at all, then maybe they go, oh, well, maybe we need to chop and change some players or one of the teams, right? But if they're both looking pretty steady, that's really good signs for North America. It makes it more competitive in their region. And then going up against a team, this is where that disparity I'm talking about comes in. For either of these guys, we would have had them as favorites against Virtus Pro every day of the week,
Of course.
Yesterday, I think we said it was 90-10. That was the chance that we had for VP to win the game. It's the same situation here.
You mean Kingwin to win the game, right?
Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Just to confirm.
Yeah. They're Polish teams versus North American teams.
Don't worry. Every time I see Taz, I still can't get Kingwin out of my mind. I'm always like, VP Taz. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be like that forever, really, right?
Yeah.
So just with this game, setting parameters for the viewers at home. If VP are able to push NRG on any map, that's a win in my books. Because these guys, you can see right now how dilapidated the Polish scene is. Because they've had all these roster changes over this year, no one has found their footing. All of the star players are not in the same rosters. That's just a look at the Polish scene as a whole. If you want to look, and we want to look at VP, well, I guess what have they got that's good for them right now? Mihu's playing well?
I mean, I think Mihu and Snatchy are the best, most consistency performing player.
Sure.
That would be them.
Look, because we have had a pretty good chance over the last 6 months to watch Ago, VP, and Kingwin because they've been attending a lot of tournaments, right? If you look at those teams, they all have some players in there who are someone to turn heads at. So Rallen, obviously, he had a good Toyota Masters, had a good event here as well. We know Mihu's playing well. Pasha in the last series stepped back up. Really depends if they can get all the pieces of the puzzle to fit together. The Polish scene could be a powerhouse to worry about again. But I think this is a rebuilding phase for them and just another learning experience for this VP roster.
Well, Taz put it well in just his video, and he seemed to go more on about, less about Kingwin, and more about just the general Polish scene and where it's at the moment. And he was under the impression that at the moment, there's not enough motivation in the Polish scene. Hopefully this shakeup's made that happen. And what he really wants to see is this, like, it needs more than just a few months. He was saying, like, it's taken 6 months for them or more to just look somewhat better. He believes it's the more time process that needs to be had here for these teams.
I mean, it really is a hard process to recycle a scene, right? And it requires motivation both from the young players who are up and coming, but also motivation from the leaders, the experienced people, to put in the work to stay at level. You know, when you're Pasha, when you're Neo, yes, you have a crazy amount of experience, and I respect the hell out of these guys. But that's Counter-Strike. You need to frag, you need to play on. Mechanically speaking, you need to be up on point. If you're not, then a team like Virtus Pro is going to disappear from the top and just sink in.
Yeah, we had that same discussion yesterday, just as the video comes up here. I think, you know, this pick from NRG here, they would be pretty comfortable going for overpass, assuming VP don't ban it, and that one is out and about, because I believe that's the VP perma.
Exactly, that is the VP permaban, and in that sense, it's really a thorn in the nail of NRG, because they, for once, will not be allowed to play overpass. I feel like everyone just let them play overpass for some reason.
Well, I'd be interested if VP try and pick Nuke here. That Nuke game wasn't hugely convincing before. I think Kingwin did a pretty good job of keeping them moving around the map. The fact that it went to overtime, Kingwin probably should have won that map. Was a 14-10 scoreline at one point. Felt like they had a big lead. Well, you've just picked into the wheelhouse of NRG here. I think that it's hard to pick too many weaknesses for NRG, really.
Well, if I had to, I mean, just the numbers, Cash and Train were the two weakest. Let's put it this way, weakest map of NRG. By no mean are NRG a bad team on Cash, but just the number says, yes, Cash could be a good pick. I'm not surprised to see VP going for it. Now, NRG have to make a choice. What is it? It's going to be Nuke or Train. Well, if you want to go up against VP on Train, historically that's a map they have been playing a lot, at least the core of them.
I'll be surprised if we see Nuke picked. That would be... So we've seen NRG play it, they'll happily go into it.
That's a Nuke, all right.
Okay.
I think that Nuke is actually... the thing is, we're setting it's two teams of different calibers, right? On all three of these maps, I favor NRG. Like, even, like, the pick, it's hard for VP to pick into anything here. I think another theme that I saw yesterday, especially with old mate Cirque, I want to look and see how his performance is after if he gets kills on the pistol round. Because in that best-of-1 game, he got 3 kills on the pistol. He had a monstrous performance, right? He was dominating. I think he's one of those players, because they are also young, right? But I think he maybe is one of those guys who is definitely a confidence player who might need to get an early start going to continue that momentum through. So I'll be looking out for that theme as we continue today.
No, this is the statistics on the Inferno, and very much in that win rate percentage, right? NRG, it's a map we see a lot of them on, taking down big MVP North on it as well. A loss out there to Liquid, which, okay, is still a good result against Liquid, and MIBR's in there as well. We look at Virtus Pro, okay, you got some wins in there, but that's not even the same caliber of team. The only ones that really compare is Astralis and HR.
I mean,
where's that Astralis result from?
I have no idea.
Could be from Epicenter?
No, it couldn't be, because Epicenter, Astralis wasn't at Epicenter anymore.
No, I don't think it was that event.
It could be some sort of qualifier, or is it possible that it goes back so so much in the past that we forgot about it? Because I can't see any recent time where a VP would play against Astralis.
Yeah, that's my memory being a little bit remiss, I suppose. But even still, 16-8.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put too much into it.
I suppose if we look at the different parts of VP, if we want to, so we obviously know that the backbone is Neo and Pasha, right? And I still think Pasha, when I looked at the stats coming into this tournament for this 5 guys, that Pasha was actually the lowest rated player in the whole team. And that's a problem, because we talked about the fact that Snatchy's come in, and that means Pasha's, he's changed roles. Snatchy's taken over a lot of his roles. That's what happens when, you know, the primary AWPer, you have a new primary AWPer come in. So with the theme of, you know, having to reinvent yourself as the older dogs, I was saying that they can look at these younger guys and they can look at the way they approach the game and kind of update themselves in that regard. The problem is, if that's the case, and if Pasha got to do that and then maybe stay in his role, you know, then maybe I could have seen some positive signs there. I guess silver lining is he had a good game earlier today. Caliber of opponent is good. It's so hard to read into anything here and give anything other than NRG the massive favorites. Yeah. This should be a 2-0. If it's not, I'll be surprised.
That's our situation, right? We're here trying to make...
It's the sad truth. It's the sad truth if you're a Virtus Pro fan, at least.
Trying to find conditions in which VP could win, and it's hard, you know, right? Even for a romantic that I am.
And I guess for Virtus Pro themselves, right, they're not going to be too bothered if it is a loss here, right? They're not going to go into it with the mad mentality of like, okay, look, we should come in and win. They're going to think positive. They're going to think confidently. But for them, this position is doing well against an NRG in any form is something they can be proud of.
Signs of growth, I suppose, is what the most positive outcome. Yeah, and the thing is, you'd have to think with the closed qualifier for the European minor coming up, that would have to be a priority, right? VP only need to win, I think it's 2 games to make it to top 8, because you only need to make it top 8 to get to the minor. So that would probably be, if they can build on what they have here and carry that momentum in, that's a good sign.
Also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, VP is in contention for a spot back in the Pro League, right? They have made it to the final of the MDL, so I think they're going to fight
for relegation.
Yeah, they're going to fight for a spot in the Pro League.
Yeah.
And looking at their result, like just in detail in the past month, I've said it in a previous segment, they are looking a little bit better. VP are taking a series of, we said, Fnatic, FaZe, they have taken a map of them, they beat LDLC. So, you know, let's believe a little bit. Let's stray away from the logic for 1 second and say, on very short term, VP is doing better now than they were maybe a few months ago. So yes, only the fact that they would go toe-to-toe with NRG, doesn't matter if they lose, if they win a map, that's insane, and no. Putting up a fight and resistance against NRG would be a good sign for them in the sense of moving forward in the future and still growing, you know? Not just that result at that tournament.
Yeah, it's hard to be more than realistic about a game like this. Certain teams, we could come in and they might be a young team who have a lot of different strategies, and, you know, maybe they're exciting for one reason or another, and you go, there is upset potential here. They could win a map, you know, they could push them if NRG come in and they're not focused. There is always that possibility because NRG are a team of a lot of youngsters. Obviously, Fugly and Daps have the most experience in this team. Fugly more so, he's been playing at roughly this level for the longest period of time, I believe. But even still, they're quite young. That pales in comparison to what Neo and the likes of Pasha bring to the table. I'm struggling, though, to find a thread to pull on to give the viewers at home hope.
Well,
maybe we could pray.
The only thing I want to know from you guys now is real quick, and I'm pretty sure I know where these answers are going, so I'm just going to kick things off. I think it's going to be NRG. I think it's going to be a 2-0. I just hope we get to see a little bit more of VP shine, a little bit of kind of resistance put up there, and enjoy some Counter-Strike where we can go, hey, VP, you're looking a bit better.
I'm just going to say I share your opinion. Very well put. Same Z's.
Well, I think NRG are going to power up and give them some of that no remorse gaming.
Hey, there we go. Chad was ready. He was prepared.
He had it in the bag.
He always pulls out the good stuff for us. But you know who's ready and waiting? It's not just the commentators, it is the players as well. And this time around, we've got Dinko and Hawker ready to deliver the first map in this best of 3.
Thank you, James. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this one. You know, NRG, we've seen them yesterday go up against Liquid. Bit of a slow one towards the end. They started to drop off, so they'll definitely want to try and step up here today against Virtus Pro.
Yeah, at the same time, heading into this game, you kind of think to yourself, what are the win conditions for Virtus Pro? And there's a long, long list, and part of that is just NRG underperforming. That's going to have to happen for VP to really have a chance here today. Again, not exactly painting a pretty picture for Virtus Pro, but I think the desk made some good points that we could see signs of improvement for them.
Yeah, they definitely have been improving. I mean, if you look back even a couple of months ago, Virtus Pro were definitely not looking good at all. I mean, they've obviously always had problems online, and that's generally where we see a lot of them lately because they haven't been at many offline events. You could even see there they hadn't gone up against NRG. There were no head-to-head results to look at.
Yeah, again, I mean, the fact that Virtus Pro have even done decently so far in this tournament, they've got some results in the bag. That's certainly a good start for them. And I don't want to say it's all bad for them. For example, Mihu's been pretty good throughout this tournament. He's their best player statistically. That's a really good sign for them. If he could start to transition into more of a star role. And I think roles is another important point of discussion for this team. Again, where does Pasha fit in this team now that Snatchy's come in? It's kind of a bit awkward to see how exactly this team is going to set itself up.
Yeah, I think overall on NRG, obviously, you've got the big hitters like Cirque, Breezy, Ethan. We see these players. Fugly was playing well yesterday. He's been playing well for the past 2 events he's been at. You know, he's having good performances at ECS Season 6. And obviously, coming into this, he's been playing pretty well. And so NRG definitely looking solid. I mean, yesterday we seen Cirque on the Open Inferno. This is going to be the first map, obviously. He's kind of limited in what he could do, and we ended up seeing Liquid take that one. But I feel like Cirque up against Virtus Pro will have a little bit more space to work with.
Yeah, should be the case. Again, though, Snatchy is another one of the shining lights for Virtus Pro. So there's a chance that if Snatchy could dominate that AWP duel, maybe that's something we could see work out for the VP side of things. And another point that Sponge made back on the desk is that sometimes, maybe if Cirque doesn't get off to a good start in, for example, the pistol round, then maybe there's a chance that he doesn't do quite as well overall and carries that on into the rest of the game. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on as we are ready to get into Inferno.
Yeah, coming into this is the pistol. You got plenty of utility over on Virtus Pro. I mean, Neo carrying 2 flashbangs, a smoke grenade. On the Morels, it's the smoke flash and nade, and they're running right up towards the A bomb site. 2 players staying here for NRG inside of the pit.
Breezy going to be the first point of contact. The flash is coming through and an insta headshot from Breezy. Nice start to the game for him. Missing a couple on that time, but oh, takes a second, and there goes Daps for one of his own. Looking good for NRG.
Yeah, headshots coming in. Pasha finding 2 kills. Snatchy and Pasha into the 2 versus 2 up against Fugly and Daps. Bomb is planted and they've got control of the A site. Although Daps still inside of the pit. There's no kit to work with on NRG, so they've got to make these headshots work coming back into the bomb site. Snatchy receiving damage from the pit thanks to Daps, who keeps chiming those shots in and coming late inside of the apartments is Pasha. He's got a strike headshot on Daps. He looks towards the library and Pasha will collect the frags. It's a 4K into the pistol. What a start from Pasha.
There we go, the man that we were talking about in the pre-game, Pasha, who may be struggling to find his role in this team, but in that round, he definitely showed that he's still got something left in the tank, and that's certainly a good sign for Virtus Pro. If you can have some of the more experienced players show up alongside these young guns that have started to prove themselves, that's when VP are at their best.
I mean, Pasha was top of the scoreboard earlier in terms of kills, right, in the game that they won against Kingwin. I believe on Mirage, he had one of the better performances. He was at top of the board with 24 kills, I think. So obviously, he's been performing pretty well today. And Virtus Pro going with the MAC-10 setup. They've got the AK on Pasha. They've got the MAC-10s on every other player. And I kind of feel like there's a bit of a chance here for NRG. They've got the pistols, the Kevlar. Definitely poses a threat.
Generally, you want maybe 1 or 2 more rifles, but because Pasha was the man to get all the kills and therefore all the money, he's the only one that gets the AK into this round. We'll see if that is something that comes back to cost them as Pasha goes probing for an entry, decides against his first instinct of going for a fight after spotting the player at long range. However, it does seem as though VP are grouping up towards the B site.
Yeah, VP don't really have to force their way in. They just can sit back. They've got all the weapon out to work with. They got the utility. They can go for a nice little execute into the bomb site. So you can see the utility already coming in. Counter flash from Fugly. It's going to delay Virtus Pro a little bit here. The CTs will just try and hold on as much as possible. You can see NRG rotating a 3rd player over towards the bomb site. Kill comes in from Pasha. That'll open things up as it decapitates Ethan and gives Virtus Pro a bit of an edge here in the round number 2.
There is a 2nd player close by. Cirque has rotated over. In the midst of the smoke, he is able to get a kill, but his teammate has fallen in the meantime. So it is a clear B bomb site. Cirque can't do too much about this one. The bomb should be planted momentarily, and again, VP remain in control.
Yeah, I think NRG at this point will just try and hold on to whatever they have, right? You know, going into the next, they're not going to have anything. So carrying those pistols over, you got the Kevlar, the defuse kit, even a piece of utility left on Breezy and Daps. You got the flashbangs, the smoke. So best for NRG just to try and back off and save what they've got into the next. Virtus Pro very cleanly and methodically taking that bomb site. Pasha being the front man, takes the opening kill, and the MAC-10s will clear the spaces on the free B bomb site. Good start from Virtus Pro here. Obviously want to continue that coming into the gun rounds that will be coming up very shortly.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much going on here, especially because NRG won't even be buying into the next round. So it's just the 3 saved CZs. So you know what, while we get a chance, Dinko, I want to ask you a question. How are you liking Malta so far?
Yeah, Malta's awesome. I mean, we obviously have went out overnight, and it's awesome there.
I want to say, when we say going out, we're not staying out that late. Like,
No,
it's literally like one drink straight to bed.
But it's pretty cool. I mean, there's so much to do. The weather's nice. The visuals are nice. I mean, they've got really nice. Obviously, they've got the rooftop pool. I went up and had a look at that.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, we need to go today. It's awesome. We've got the lake games, obviously, so we've been enjoying ourselves. But NRG, they're coming into this with the pistols, Alex. Back to the action. Virtus Pro, I mean, this is a good chance for them to pick up the cash with those MAC-10s.
You know what, the funniest thing I find as well is that we've come to Malta, everyone's telling us it's terrible weather because it's a bit windy. And like compared to the UK, I'm just loving it. It's nice temperature even at this time of the year. So Malta definitely a cool destination. Either way, NRG on the pistols, maybe a chance to do something, but they've left Ethan alone towards B with just that USP. So if the push were to come in towards him, he would almost certainly be overwhelmed. Looks like VP are just going to spread out across the board. The Polish powerhouse, as they were previously called, just kind of spreading out. They're not grouping up to form the plow just yet.
Yeah, coming back, Mihu able to pick up the headshot onto Breezy. And we're into a 5 versus 4 immediately. Virtus Pro will look to just dot to dot pick up the kills. Pasha finding a frag. Reynolds will crack open B further. Oh, Daps and Cirque. They're into the 2 versus 5 as they're going to try and rotate themselves over. You know, a couple of kills here wouldn't be too bad, but Virtus Pro keeping everyone alive, minimizing the casualties. Allowing that economy really to get a great start here in this first half.
Yeah, and I'm still not sure on the second round Force Spike. I think Inferno might be one of the better maps for it, to be fair to NRG. The fact that you can get into some close range position, the apartments are always good. In towards Banana, even if you just have a couple of nades, you can definitely push down that position. But in general, I still feel like the better option in most situations is probably a save, but it can be map dependent. Sometimes you will see teams force up. Sometimes on Dust 2, you'll pick up the scout to try and watch the cross towards the doors if you're on the T side. So there are options available in this second round. Unfortunately not working for NRG on this occasion, as Daps will be dealt with. The MAC-10s all stay alive, and maybe we'll see a bonus round. VP could definitely save onto these SMGs.
So keep 2 SMGs. I think 3 would have been a little bit too much, so Snatchy's got to upgrade to the AWP. You can see the odds here very slightly favoring Virtus Pro in comparison to sort of the storylines that have been put out here. You know, everybody expecting Virtus Pro to be the team that gets dominated here. I think those odds are quite nice for them. I definitely feel like they're giving them a chance here. And coming into this round, Alex, I'm still going to give them a chance because, you know, they got the AWP, the 2 AKs, utility across every player. Those 2 MAC-10s, they're there to really just see what they can get done.
Smoke down Banana. Pasha, the man on the other side of things. Remember, he's not going to be the AWPer for the team any longer. It's Snatchy who's taken that role away from him. So he'll just be kind of holding back towards Banana. We'll probably see Snatchy try and get involved in the early action. Considering he invested so much into that AWP, the MAC-10 players will either run in first or wait for Snatchy to get the entry. And VP all leaning towards A, but there isn't any clear commitment in this portion of the round.
So NRG having the 2 players set up towards A in a bit of an advanced position. They have Daps all the way back inside of Archway. The point of this is just to try and get the info and also can rotate to B if needed, and he is definitely needed as Virtus Pro are charging towards this position. Molotov will keep Neo at bay for now. And Pasha, he's got the help of Snatchy with that AWP. The player we started to talk about at the beginning of this one, testing his luck. That shot will telegraph that he is towards the B side, and so NRG can sort of set up and evaluate.
By the way, another point to the previous Force Buy is that if you go for the Force Buy in the second round, you can afford the AWP into the first gun round. And that's something that NRG put quite a lot of their play behind. Yeah. But here we go, 28 seconds. Pasha not going to be able to sell the fake too well. The kill comes in, but here comes the A push.
Yeah, coming towards A, but Cirque is here for NRG. Definitely not an easy player to deal with. And obviously with 15 seconds left on the clock, this could get messy. Daps towards the archway, gonna take the fight against Snatchy. Snatchy wins the fight, and that's another kill coming in from Cirque. 8 seconds, spray coming in, Cirque doubles up. Snatchy will get a frag. Neo desperately planting the bomb. He does get it, Cirque goes for the no-scope, but unable to grab it. It's Neo into a 1 versus 2, but Fugly says no, and NRG will win it. Cirque does so much work there.
20 seconds left in the round. NRG have a smoke in their back pocket. They put that towards short, and at that point, VP are always going to be in trouble. Even getting onto the bomb site for a plant was actually somewhat impressive there. They managed to at least get the bomb down, make it somewhat close. I thought the defuse was going to be done a bit sooner, but eventually they will get the job done. The round has been won by NRG, and they were just waiting so that they could save both of the AWPs on the NRG side. That's what Ethan was running towards there. So that's quite interesting on Inferno. You don't always see that double AWP setup.
Well, you know, sometimes you can see it. It does get used a little bit more so when a team is starting to lose or they're on a losing streak and they get the loss bonus through and they need something to work or giving them an edge back into it. But pulling it out here, NRG, pretty early into the game, are going to have to play with those 2 AWPs. Obviously, Daps is going to be picking up that UMP. over on Virtus Pro. Plenty of money was left in the reserve, so it's another full buy.
Cirque with one of those AWPs, positioned towards mid. Doesn't seem like he's going to get too involved in the early action. Something that is quite interesting about VP's playstyle at the start of this map is the pistol round was very fast-paced. The gun round wasn't, but what a pre-fire from Mihu. Opens up the round, however, Cirque finds one of his own. So it's into a 4-on-4, and Ethan misses that shot. That probably should have been a kill from the AWP there, maybe showing he's not generally the primary AWPer for the team. That smoke seems to have failed, and Ethan will take advantage of that, trying to reposition, trying to find a fight.
Look at the size of this gap. Oof. Ethan's going to spot, doesn't rattle the shot off because that would have put him in a pretty difficult position. Obviously missed the shot, player will peek into. And Ethan doesn't really have help, so if he is to fall, B is susceptible to being taken by Virtus Pro. At least he has Fugly coming in now. So Ethan needs to hit the first shot, and there we go. Collects it on the Pasha. Good start for NRG. They've got the advantage once more. And with 45 seconds left, they still have plenty of utility to delay Virtus Pro here inside of Banana.
Snatchy is still over towards A long, so VP may just wait to see if he can do something, and there we go. VP realized that Snatchy has been able to get into an advanced position, so they'll try and use this to their advantage, but it's not going to happen. Breezy stops Snatchy's push, and that leaves Morels and Mihu in an almost unwinnable position.
Cirque sits on the spot. AWP holds the angle, but Breezy inside of the pit is striking. He gets himself the double. And there's going to be another round of the ball for NRG, pretty convincingly as well.
Yeah, that looked pretty easy for Breezy in towards pit there. As soon as Cirque misses the shot, he draws all the attention. It's kind of Counter-Strike 101, right? That's the first thing you learn. Just go for a crossfire on the CT side, have the second man ready to fight from a different angle where he's got some easy kills lined up for him. And after a strong start, VP starting to fade a little bit. Neo gets himself a CZ, so good to see he does buy a gun, even if it's not an optimal one. And wow, how is Pasha down to 18 points of health? That's not the start he was looking for. Damage done early into the round by NRG, and VP are sitting fairly far back at the start of this one.
Yeah, Virtus Pro, they have a bit of a scrappy buy here, right? They've got a couple of rifles, the open play on Snatchy. But, you know, having those two pistols can weaken your buy quite substantially. A main talking point here, Alex, is kind of we talked about how impactful Cirque is with that AWP. But Ethan's done enough work in the previous. He's going to see a battle come through up against Snatchy. There's going to be another shot landed. Neo and Pasha both drop to 18 HP. And Snatchy will continue the fight as he finds the headshot onto Ethan. It's into a 5 versus 4, and Virtus Pro got the man advantage.
Couple of players low on the VP side, but as you were pointing out, the 5v4 advantage is there. Cirque finds the angle. The smoke not quite positioned in the right spot, so that allows Cirque to fight his way into the round. And VP making the call to go all the way over towards A with very little utility.
Yeah, they seen that AWP on the B bomb site. They realized they called the rotate because they had obviously killed Ethan. So they're going to go back over towards the A bomb site and see what they can get done there.
The issue is with a molly and a smoke, it's not going to be easy to overwhelm this bomb site, and the rotate is starting to come through. Cirque's AWP is rotating over. They were trying to avoid that one, but they're still going to be met by the sniper.
Cirque has the angle towards Library. The battle comes through. Dap's able to step up. Initial kill on a Neo, but the time is getting so low. Mihu and Snatchy, they step up for Virtus Pro, and Fugly is into a 1 versus 3. The bomb will be planted on A, and Fugly will save that AWP into the next round.
That round was just won in a matter of seconds. We just see a flurry of frags come through. The round is over and done with. It's almost hard to realize what happened there because it was just so quick. But VP clearly able to win some of those opening fights, and that kind of put them on the front foot as they won the trades towards the site itself. Yeah. At least Fugly's looking to hold on to the AWP, but you can see on the left side of your screen, the money not necessarily there for the rest of NRG. Seems pretty likely they're going to have to go for either a save, or if they force, it won't be great.
Yeah, Snatchy and Mihu were the two players that got it done in that last one, right? Snatchy actually falls to the bomb there, so he's going to lose the AWP. And there isn't a whole lot of money there on Virtus Pro to be able to sort of keep reinvesting in that AWP. This is a type of round where they could maybe float the full AK buy again. Here's the kills from Mihu that really opened up A. Finding those frags was so important. And Snatchy winning that battle against Cirque, that AWP battle coming through, definitely needs to step up here. And we sort of talked about that is one of the win conditions Virtus Pro have, is Snatchy stepping up here.
Yeah, Snatchy's definitely been one of the better players recently for this VP side. Again, the younger talents coming through from the Polish region, or I guess the more inexperienced talents would be the way to put it. Ethan's nade down banana, not going to connect on this occasion. Generally, those banana nades can do quite a lot of damage, but VP have been playing really passively at the start of quite a few of these gun rounds. So those nades down banana haven't really made too much of an impact on the NRG side of things. And you can see they continue to use the little utility they have to hold onto banana. But with so much time left on the clock, VP could definitely afford to wait this out, and yet they still look prepared to try and do something in this position.
Yeah, Virtus Pro trying to play with it. Top of the smoke, the boost coming in. That's where Dap's getting aggressive as part of the apartments, is able to draw first blood as he finds Mihu. And Pasha desperately trying to find this trade frag. Clears every angle possible. Allows Snatchy to get into position. The smoke will come in from for CT. Fugly's got 2 players here. This is a great bait and switch setup on the B-bomb side. Fugly takes the initial frag. The attention will be drawn towards this position, but they're going to have a nasty surprise. Dap's coming through the smoke. Ethan able to step up. Fugly comes in, and Virtus Pro, they're not getting anywhere near that B-bomb site. Snatchy will collect 1 kill with the AWP. He's got a 1 versus 4 here. He talked about how skillful this guy is, but this would be the time to really prove it. 25 seconds left. The bomb stuck at the B-bomb site, and he's walking right towards Cirque. The frag is there, and NRG will win that round.
Yeah, NRG still looking comfortable, even after going behind at the early stages. They know they are fairly big favorites for this overall series. It's always weird to see the green colors behind VP. I'm still not used to the branding change, to be honest, but there you go. Snatchy is towards the top of the board alongside Pasha, who had that strong start we were talking about. Again, on Inferno, sometimes you'll see the AWPs be a little bit more tempered, but no, it's not been the case here. Both of the AWPers on their respective lineups at the top of the board, and it seems like the snipers will be integral for both teams.
Something I love about watching NRG and Inferno is how proactive they play on Banana. I mean, I'd love to see Ethan getting up close and personal in Banana, trying to find those advantages. We see a lot of utility battles come through. Too often do we see on Inferno as the sort of slow, methodical play style where you have the 2 teams initially having that utility battle inside of Banana, and whichever team wins the top Banana control just leaves 1 player there and just leaves it open completely. So it's good to see some battles going down there early, and NRG looking to try and get some aggression going.
Someone just threw the bomb to Morels. That's very rude. He's the last man. He can't throw it to anyone. That's always sad. If you're that guy in matchmaking, just let you know, I hate you. I do not want the bomb.
Yeah.
It's always you giving me the bomb, though, Dinko.
Yeah, they're always the bomb always gets tossed away. No one wants it, and Cirque is going to kick up a first kill with AWP, falling back with the USP, able to follow up as they keep coming towards the archway. This could be lovely for Cirque, but Daps will steal away the opportunity for an ace. Morels will be finished off by Fugly. NRG sweep the trash under the rug in Virtus Pro. They will get themselves a little bit of extra money here, but not enough to get the full buy through. So we could probably see a half buy coming in.
Yeah, I mean, on the full eco there, VP, they were never really going to do too much. They try and just overwhelm the player towards top mid. Not a bad shout. If you can actually get the kill on towards Cirque, then finding the AWP is the one way you could potentially find a way into the round. But not going to happen on this occasion. And unfortunately for VP, the money's still not really there for them. As you were pointing out, it's only pistols once again. And despite the strong start for this Polish side, they've started to fall a little bit behind. However, Cirque getting aggressive in the apps. I wonder if NRG are aware of the money over on the VP side. Cirque cannot afford to play that aggressive. He can't afford to give up the AWP, and he's realized that. He will be falling back to the A-bomb site.
Virtus Pro definitely just want to try and overwhelm A here with whatever they've got. They can 1 flashbang. There it goes. Breezy inside of the pit. They run in towards him. First headshot comes in. Second is followed up pretty easily. Pasha able to find a frag and missed shot from Cirque, but he equips the Deagle. Morel's doing damage. Pasha, he will fault Fugly. And Cirque under a lot of pressure inside of the site. Neo with a P250 overwhelms him, hits the headshot. Morel's doing work for Virtus Pro with the AK that he's picked up. And Ethan left in a 1 versus 2, taps away on a Neo. The flashbang covers off his vision as Ethan stays and tries to fight. But Morel's wins it for Virtus Pro. And with 2 sets of Kevlar, a couple of pistols, Virtus Pro make this round work.
Wow, and that's really nice. Again, Morelts has probably been one of the newer players that's been missing for this team. Snatchy has generally done his job well. Mihu has been a solid addition to the side, but Morelts maybe hasn't found his role just yet, and it's always good to see him get a couple of kills, maybe gain that confidence that he needs to really shine. Still, that's a round that NRG should not be losing too often. I mean, the fact they only had 2 players towards A at the start was obviously a part of that, but it did seem they might have misread the opponent's economy. And here we go. Ethan loves his aggressive play, pushing down Banana.
Yeah, looking for that advantage they needed, of course. Look at their buy. It's suboptimal. And, of course, this buy, if they end up losing to Virtus Pro here, their economy will be down the drain and they will be reset. And Virtus Pro would love that. That would give themselves a nice little bit of a window of opportunity to start building up some round scores. But currently, a lot of damage done early by NRG onto Virtus Pro. Pasha dropped to 45 HP, Morales on 15.
Snatchy in quite a close angle with this up. Flashes will help him out. Oh, Cirque is flashed off the corner. That really saves Snatchy there because Cirque was holding that angle. So again, those flashbangs proving their importance. And oh, nice shot from Breezy. He needed the insta headshot. And that's exactly what he finds on the tight angle. A bit surprising to see Mihu push alone, though. He had no support. He was just trying to sneak into the back lines and make an individual play. But oftentimes, NRG's structure is not going to allow that. And it's exactly what we see here. And VP looking a little bit lost right now. They're sitting towards top mid, but not really committing for the push.
Virtus Pro about to wrap this A bomb site. There's 3 players around this area for NRG though. Snatchy going on a bit of a dander here. He's got his teammates inside of CT. He's gonna be walking and trying to wrap B here. This is so difficult. Daps will pick up a kill with a CZ. That's the opening on the Pasha. And now it's into a 2-man advantage for NRG. Fugly. What a kill from Snatchy, what a flick, what a reaction shot, and Fugly finished off. 9 seconds, they need to make the play. Ethan has to go huge, picks up the first, denies the bomb plant, and NRG will answer back. The economy is saved, and 5 on the board.
It just looks like VP don't really have that overall idea in that round. They took a little bit too long after gaining top mid control to decide what to do. And I feel like that's in part because it seemed like Neo wanted to move towards B, but without any presence towards Banana, he couldn't split the bomb site. He had to push only from one position. He deployed all his forces from CT spawn, and that just made it a bit too obvious. Even with Snatchy landing an insane reaction shot that he should rarely get the chance to find, there's just not enough time to clear all the positions. Ethan stays in a good spot. And I think you can see VP realizing these T-side calls are maybe just a little bit too delayed. So they want to make sure they have an idea for the start of this next round.
Yeah, they've also got a decision to make in terms of the economy, right? They've got a little bit of a weaker cash in the bank, so they're going to have to make that decision. You know, they have the option to go for the half buy or force buy here, and they could, they have. So Snatchy is going to pick up the AWP. They've got the 8K 2 Mac 10s in play, and a P250 on Mihu. This gets interesting because Virtus Pro, they know NRG's economy isn't going to be that well built, and this gives them an opportunity again to try and reset NRG.
Generally, when you think your opponents have a poor buy, you're going to play rather passively. That's kind of the case here, although there is that nice off angle from Daps where he's a little committed to his position. Oftentimes, this is nice to play just once or twice in a half, just to keep VP guessing, right? Because they now have to clear that high position. It just gives the opponents one more spot that they have to make sure they are wary of. Again, VP going for the slow play. They realize how important this round is. If the Poles lose this one, then NRG could cruise to a comfortable halftime scoreline. The smoke will go up towards A long. We're not going to see any shenanigans with the smoke being body blocked or anything like that, although we may see a boost, and this could definitely work.
Start getting boosted up. The problem is, though, 2 players can get caught up in position here. Snatchy's able to pick up the kill on the Daps. It's into a 5 versus 4. 47 seconds left in the clock, and Virtus Pro looking to make the plunge in towards the A bomb site, having really no other options as they've fully committed through. Morel's wrapping the site, the bomb is there as well. Kill comes in from Fugly, drop back as a trade comes through on Neo. Breezy inside of the pit, doing a lot of work, but Morel's finally shuts him down and now has control of that pit for Virtus Pro. And we've seen how good he is in that area.
Fugly biding his time. The bomb's still yet to be planted. And every second that goes, NRG get better and better in terms of their positioning. Ethan's coming closer and closer to the site. The bomb is planted safely. However, VP don't really have any information. They've got to be worried of every single angle, or else could get good timing. Oh, one tap from Morels, and Fugly is known. He will fall. Nice shot from Morels, and VP win the all-important force round.
Yeah, Morels really is having so much impact on those entries, right? He keeps finding the kill onto Breezy. Yes, it's a trade fry coming through. Breezy does a lot of work there, picking up 2 kills. But Morels, once he takes control of that pit position, he's able to have so much impact for Virtus Pro, and it's difficult for NRG to get back into that site.
Yeah, not an easy position to clear. Just in general, the retakes on Inferno are never easy. Both bomb sites have quite a few close corners you have to clear. Generally, you want utility on those retakes, but you also want to use your utility early in towards Banana or in other positions. And speaking of utility, look at the buy for NRG. They've not got many nades. They also don't have much weaponry. This is really VP's chance to take a surprising lead in this first half, as long as they can close this round with the advantage.
Snatchy gonna miss the first shot. Knows there is presence towards Banana. Pasha could be in for a field day, but the MP9 will disallow Pasha from getting any of those easy kills. He is finished off, and an advantage has been taken by NRG.
And again, that, I think, is a really prime example of the role that Pasha's playing. He's not 100% sure how to play as a more aggressive player. He's actually the player that's been taking the most entry attempts on VP in the last 3 months, and I'm not really sure that's a role he's used to. Either way, Mihu's going to be able to get the refrag, and it seems like VP have saved themselves. A couple of kills come back. VP are on top 4 now. The trades keep on coming. That's what VP need. They hold the 3v2.
Yeah, Snatchy finding that kill. There's so much impact in this scenario, but Dab's coming in from behind. This could get very messy with that CZ. Snatchy needs to be careful. He's going to be found. That's the bomb as well. Kill from Daps. He just needs to stay alive as he falls back inside of the apartments. He's playing this perfectly. Neo will collect the bomb once more. The flashbang from Daps towards the apartments. Has to wait on his teammate coming in. That's Cirque. So Neo has to clutch here. The legend of the game as they run towards him from short. He lines up the first. He knows the second is there as well. The flashbang comes through, and Neo, he's got the pit position. This is becoming so incredibly awkward as he sits back, holds the angle, but Cirque comes in, headshot, and he survives on 11 HP, and it's NRG to take 6 and equalize the scoreline once more.
And if you look at the clutch statistics for VP, Neo has won the most 1v2s for this team in the last 3 months. So he's definitely a good clutch player. He's definitely capable in those positions. That's clearly in part because of that veteran savvy he has. You saw there, he got a bit tricksy. He dropped the flash, tried to get the pre-fire. If the player was a bit lower on health, that would have been enough. But not coming through on this occasion. And this is a really hotly contested game right now. Neither side really gaining control. It seems like the other team always just about have enough money to buy, and that continues to be the case. VP scrape another buy.
Yeah, when you have close games like this, one of the teams' economy, or both of them, will never have that chance to really grow exponentially, right? So both teams will want to keep buying. They'll both want to try and limit the amount that their opponent can bring into the next round, right? So Virtus Pro, they're going to go for a buy here. Yeah, it's not great, but it definitely still poses a threat.
Smoke from Neo deployed early into the round. This could suggest a switch of pace in play for VP. Moving quickly in towards A. Mihu rips off the head of Breezy, and Daps could be in trouble, but they don't clear the corner. Daps only gets the 1 kill. It's into a 3-on-3, and VP in good position.
Yeah, still into the 3 versus 3. Pasha will fall back safely to the site. And Snatchy inside of the pit this time has an AK-47 to work with. Ethan comes in from behind. Will assassinate Pasha. Now the advantage lies with NRG as they try and hold on. Snatchy get a little bit more proactive as he runs right through the smoke. Ethan onto the bomb site though. It's all on Snatchy, playing inside of the smoke. And he's going to be found by Fugly, and the kill will come in as NRG will take the lead. I think at this point we'll finally see an eco come in from Virtus Pro. Yeah, definitely we're going to see an eco. I was going to say, you know, they still could float the half buy here, but it's not going to be probably enough to get things done against NRG. But they're doing a very good job here, NRG, at those retakes. Just jumping in the smokes, finding kills with the MP9s. Ethan is looking on form.
Well, I mean, it took until around round 14, and oh, hello. It's not going to be the full eco, Dinko. Neo's decided he's got enough for the AK. He's going to try and be the hero in this round. It's never easy when you've not got the nades to back him up, but we'll see if anything can come through. Here comes the fight. Daps already getting aggressive, gets the opening kill, and there's no one there to trade.
Yeah, Breezy connecting onto Neo, that's the AK gone. And that's essentially Virtus Pro's chances gone, unless they can make this work with the pistols.
Oh,
That's not a great grenade, is it? Daps just holding the top window.
he's done it again.
Doesn't know if there's a player close by, so that Molotov will just cover off the stairs so they can't jump up on the balcony, but he will soon realize that the player is towards second middle. Pash going on a bit of a prowl towards the B-bomb site. He's gonna chuck that smoke down. That will telegraph there is a player there, and the smoke will cover the vision of the CT, so they're unaware of where Virtus Pro are. They just know there was a player towards B not too long ago, so the play can resume to play through with Virtus Pro still standing a chance of doing damage.
Mihu gets an M4. That's always nice. He's also got the Kevlar alongside it. Again, the lack of utility was always going to be the problem. Cirque can just hold that angle all day, every day. Without a nade against him, it's generally going to be easy for Cirque, although that flick was a little too much to ask for. Pasha goes back to get the rifle. There's a player rotating over, and I don't think Pasha's going to realize. Oh, Ethan gives away his position. That was a little bit strange, but he still follows it up with the wall bang. And NRG have wrestled control of Inferno, but it took them quite a while. And with 6 rounds on the T side already, potential for a 7th, this isn't too bad for VP.
This is where the problem lies, right? You know, that last round where Neo bought the AK, he would have actually had money to get an AK into this one. They would have had a full buy, but this time only has the Tech 9. So this is going to be definitely not optimal for Virtus Pro, but it's still a pretty solid buy coming into the last round of the half. They can definitely make this work for an 8-7. And NRG, they are definitely in control, Alex. Cirque is playing well here. You know, he had yesterday, when they were going up against Liquid here in Inferno, didn't have the space to work with, but he's kind of forcing himself into space, being very dynamic, rotating across the map, finding the kills.
I was just watching the player cam, and Pasha looked absolutely disgusted when he took that nade to the face. I don't know why. He was just so annoyed.
Yeah, I feel like that's happened so many times, though.
Yeah.
It is very frustrating when you run out of spawn, and a grenade lands right on top of you and drops you immediately. Oh.
Again, it's the same angle from
Yeah.
Cirque. You've got to be prepared for that. You've got to be able to flash him off it. He's even going to go for the reface. Nearly gets the opportunity again, but Neo is able to get to cover, and Neo recovers himself an AWP. So the fact that he only had the Tech 9 won't be a massive factor in this round, but Cirque has repositioned.
Cirque out towards long, very scary player to walk towards, misses the shot, so falls back, looks for a little bit more, but again, the second miss comes in, but he bits him into the crosshairs of Breezy, who holds the pit stand, and he looks for a little bit more, he gets one. Mihu will finally find the trade inside of the pit, nothing more can be done. Cirque will take the kill, and NRG will take the half 9-6.
So the worry for Virtus Pro is, sure, that half looks kind of close, but you also have to remember they took the 3-0 lead at the start. So into the gun rounds, NRG generally had control, and if they can keep that up into the second half, it seems like NRG have really started to find their form.
Yeah, the rounds that Virtus Pro won as well were very sporadic. They weren't winning a round and then winning one after another. Those first 3, yeah, they were the only ones that they won consistently. And when it came into it was just, okay, NRG's economy still not built. We'll try and force buy here. We'll get the round win. Then we'll lose 2 more and then win 1, lose 1, win 1. You know, it's been very inconsistent in that respect, and they haven't really been able to chime them together. So Virtus Pro, yeah, they get 6. That's enough. And moving on to the CT side, they're going to need a good start.
In terms of the AWPers, Cirque has maybe been a bit hit or miss, but I'd say he's been hitting more than missing, because he's towards the top of the board for the team. It was just that last round where he had a couple of whiffed shots that didn't really lead to too many problems anyway. And into this T side, it will be interesting to see if, again, they put a lot of preference into the AWP for Cirque. Remember, they forced up in the second round, so they were able to get that AWP out straight into the first gun round. I wouldn't necessarily expect that to be so much of a priority on the T side, especially on Inferno. It can be awkward to force those opening engagements. But then again, Snatchy was using it for VP, so it could come through.
Yeah, this is those big kills from Breezy. You know, Cirque did miss the shots, yes, but they baited him into Breezy, who was able to collect them easily. But coming into the second half, it's Virtus Pro trailing by 3, but the pistol is an important one, and Virtus Pro going for 5 sets of Kevlar.
Oh, here we go. The rush down mid, 2 players. The rush down banana. This is going to be interesting, and it's already happened. The fights come through. Ethan just about gets back to safety, and NRG all run towards B.
Yeah, Neo chasing him down inside of banana, trying to equalize the player count, but Ethan, he's going to step up inside of the bomb site. Neo falls. It's on a Pasha Morels to try and clutch this 2 versus 4. Have to retake B with no utility and no kit, so they've got to move very quickly. Morels on the spot, holding the wall. Breezy and Ethan will chime together for 2. And NRG will take 10, double figures already. And a good start into the second half is exactly what they would want to have.
So it's VP who have the decision to make, rather than NRG.
Wow.
It's going to be a mostly eco for the team. Mihu's bought the Kevlar, but other than that, it is going to be VP not investing a massive amount. Oh, wait a minute. They are starting to invest. This is a really weird buy. 2 players save, 2 players fully force, and then Mihu kind of half invests. So I don't know what we're going to see into the upcoming rounds. We'll have to see if they can do anything with this buy, firstly, as NRG will go for a fast-paced play.
Yeah, Morels in behind the smoke as NRG start to charge towards the long position. Daps coming in from the apartments with the MAC-10 to just try and pick up these eco frags. Ethan will draw first blood, but Daps is able to follow up with 2. And Snatchy and Neo, they're into the 2 versus 5. Bomb will get planted on A. And NRG, that's as clean as you can get. And in fact, you know, Virtus Pro probably won't have anything into the next one, so why not just save those 2 P250s?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get Snatchy saving. I guess if he wants to get the AWP as soon as possible, maybe the same is going to be said for Morels, although generally I would expect Pasha to be the secondary AWPer, so unless Morels drops it over or something like that, it's kind of a weird buy for VP overall, and it's definitely not worked for them as Snatchy struggles to do anything. The MAC-10s clean things up nicely. Daps happy to take those kills, and with the 11-6 scoreline on the board, it really does feel like NRG have been able to gain full control of this matchup as it has gone on.
Yeah, you know, Virtus Pro, like we said, just in that first half, yeah, they won a couple of rounds, never really looked too convincing. I mean, the runs that they won were the first 3 after converting the pistol, and then they won 2 sporadic round, 3 sporadic rounds throughout the rest of it. I feel like we are...
Are we okay?
Well, there we go. No problems. We are back into the action. Virtus Pro, it is the pistols for the vast majority of them, well, all of them. And the upgraded pistols on Pasha, Morels, and Mihu. Again, this should be pretty easy pickings for NRG. They're pretty consistent in sort of winning these.
It shouldn't be too difficult. Again, Daps and Cirque have got those SMGs. I assume Daps is probably just going to drop an AWP if they want one. I mean, Cirque's money isn't there, but with Daps having the cash, it won't really be a big deal into the future. We've got a little bit of a stack for Virtus Pro. NRG should just use their nades, though, in towards top mid. That will likely kind of bypass any players over on the other side of things, and you can already see Cirque clearing in towards short. A single flashbang's been popped over the top, and Ethan has been dealt with. A second frag foul to the site, and it's starting to get a little dicey, but there we go. Cirque's MAC-10 chimes in with a couple of kills.
Yeah, last player, Neo, coming in from the bottom of middle. We'll love to get back up onto that side, but the call there was, you know, we'll just stack the cubby. The smoke comes in towards the long side of brackets, and so when they hear the players charging in towards the A bomb site, Virtus Pro decide to run right through that smoke. They get a couple of kills, so job done. That's exactly what they would want done into this. And Neo has an opportunity to perhaps get another. He's going to be inside of the apartments, but NRG, not really much of a point of trying to do anything, just try and save everything, minimize the casualties.
Kind of that point of the game where nothing's likely to happen. Neo's going to try and cause some issues. He could just do some damage and try and let them die to the bomb. Neo not really able to do so. Breezy sticks around and he nearly dies to the bomb there. Neo trying his best to cause some slight bit of economic worry for NRG, but it doesn't necessarily come through on this occasion. Good effort, though. That's basically all you can do. And yes, it is going to be the buy for VP. It's almost now or never for this team. 6 rounds behind. It's a 12-6 scoreline, and I think it's fair to say this is almost a must-win round.
Double up setup coming out for Virtus Pro. Snatchy and Pasha rocking him. Like you said, Pasha was the AWPer previous for Virtus Pro. They used to toss it around, but Pasha was a man that picked it up quite a lot for Virtus Pro. But they brought Snatchy in. He's the main AWPer, but they've got that potential with Pasha now to have that double up setup.
And look at how well prepared NRG were for these orbs. An instant nade in towards top mid. If Pasha was a little bit further forwards, it would have done a lot of damage on towards him. He gets away with 92 HP, and Snatchy trying to play around this smoke. The orb's still waiting, a second smoke deployed, and NRG, if they were to push B, would have basically a free bomb site, but they're not going to commit.
Yeah, well, Snatchy did just immediately fall back from that when he's seen the utility come in. So it's got the ult posted up on the coffins. Now it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Virtus Pro to lose that bomb site. So NRG, they've got the players posted up inside a banana, gathering the rest of the troops as they congregate here. Still got plenty of utility across the board, all the players. So CT smoke can come in, the Molotovs, the flashbangs, the full exec into the B bomb site. And what is happening here? They've obviously pulled Snatchy away from that angle into a more passive one inside of CT. He'll gather the info, but no one from Virtus Pro is really close enough to make a big rotate. But finally, just in the nick of time, Neo coming over. AWP from Snatchy is going to peek out for the first kill, looks for the follow-up. They're running towards him. He lines them up. He gets one. And it's into a 3 versus 5. Virtus Pro, they've got the 2-man advantage.
Neo's boosted up. This is the bomb gone. NRG have got to commit to the site, and Neo makes it a second. That's this round over. Daps is just going through the smoke. He could cause some problems. He could get a kill or two, and that's what all his aim is at this point. He's going to move forwards, and oh, Mihu finds the dink. Daps finds the headshot in reply. No way to get towards A as Morelts has got the cross cut off. The interesting thing there was that if NRG just went for a standard round where they did the smoke to CT and they did the smoke to coffins, I think they would have been fine. But the smoke just took way too long to get into position. They tried to push beforehand. The AWP was holding the angle. Maybe that's something they slightly overlooked because Pasha's AWP was over towards A. But look at how easy this is for Snatchy. He's just going in and out, taking shots all day long, and it gives VP an early lead.
Yeah, Snatchy just keeps re-peeking, you know, and luckily for him at that point, he was able to do that only because Neo rotated over just the right time. You know, you've seen Snatchy fall back to the more passive angle, goes towards this CT position again to try and gather the early info, the early pick. Neo comes over just right in the nick of time, and they're able to double up 2 kills each across the board and eliminate NRG.
Ooh, the same again from VP. Snatchy alone on the B bomb site. Maybe this is something that VP have looked into NRG's play. Maybe they think that NRG go towards the A site more often, because giving up banana like this is not common for many teams on their CT side. A lot of teams put a lot of presence into gaining that banana control, but VP would rather stack towards A.
Pasha looking over the top of the smoke. The boost that's coming pretty consistent. They've actually hit the player on the boost. Neo's been dropped to 1 HP. So, excellent start from NRG. Would have loved the kill, but only 1 health point away from grabbing that. And instead, they will begin to relocate themselves towards Banana, where the 1 man is waiting. That's Snatchy towards the coffins. You know, 1 smoke or a Molotov can neutralize him and instantly give the bomb site to NRG. Neo isn't here this time, so Snatchy playing the sort of advanced angle on the coffins. You know, he has that right side. He's looking for the AWP kill, but the flashbang's in. There's the smoke that neutralizes him. He'll throw the Molotov, hoping to delay further. He's actually going to push this, or it was about to, but decides to fall back. And Virtus Pro, they've got to retake this B bomb site up against NRG.
If you don't find something soon, a save could easily be called. They're going to have to try and force a fight. With the smokes being deployed again, NRG with a fair amount of utility, and oh, the shot is missed from Snatchy. VP on the outside looking in, and sure, VP have some nades of their own, but they're going to have to make this quick if they want to go for it, and you can already see VP fading away from this one. They realize the round isn't possible, and this could be one of those rare rounds where we see 0 casualties, depending on how the end of this one plays out.
Yeah, Snatchy really needed to find at least 1 kill there, right, to make it possible. At this point, it's just trying to deal with damage control. Pasha finding the frag on the Daps, then we'll back away. And NRG, that's as easy as it can get, really. You know, you take the bomb site, just a simple execute, and perhaps Virtus Pro will then adapt instead of just leaving Snatchy in that really passive angle where they don't gather the info.
And that's basically what we should have seen happen in the earlier round, right? It was just a much more concise push from NRG. They were actually pushing as a team. The smokes were well timed on this occasion, so Snatchy unable to do anything on the solo B hold. And as long as NRG go for that smoke execute at the right time, as long as there's a bit more togetherness, it was always going to be easy for them to overwhelm the 1 man or just stop him from being able to fight at all. And it is still the double up setup for VP. but they have decided to commit more towards Banana, and those nades will start to do damage. Again, much more standard, but again, after using those nades at Banana, they rotate off, they sell the presence towards B, and then leave Snatchy alone on that side of the map, trying to bait NRG into an A push.
You see NRG becoming much more concentrated towards that A side. Who steps up with the opening kill for Virtus Pro. Breezy again falls, and Neo position towards left side of brackets or long. Can just re-smoke, trying to delay NRG further. The rest of Virtus Pro have rotated over towards the A bomb site and have a heavy concentration of defense inside of that pit area. Flashbang goes over the top. That'll force Neo away from the archway and gives much more space for NRG to work with. Likely would drop the smoke inside of the library. I'll cover off vision there if Neo was to rotate around, and this is going to be a commit into the A site. Fugly walks through, Morels inside of the pit, again finding success as he picks up the double. Neo inside the middle, spots the players there, and this is so bad from NRG. I mean, it just looks disjointed.
They looked so lost in that round. Like, there's 2 players pushing A, there's 2 players sitting back at mid. I assumed that the call was going to be a B split after seeing that, but they commit a bit too much towards the A site. I do like the idea from VP, though, almost starting to play mind games with the fact, hey, we know we've lost B. We're going to pretend we're stacking over towards Banana. We're going to put the nades down Banana, and then just put the rest of our players over towards the A site, knowing that NRG would likely try to take advantage of that. So Neo may be 1 step ahead of the in-game leader front of things in that round, and it allows VP to keep themselves going. That is a 13-8 lead for NRG. Still rather one-sided, but still doable for VP, especially if they could break the bank of NRG. And with a tactical pause, I think NRG's bank is probably close to being broken.
Yeah, tactical pause comes in, right? And these rounds have been pretty close in terms of kills sometimes. Obviously with that round where NRG kept 5 alive, but they didn't do all that much damage to Virtus Pro. And so keeping it close, Virtus Pro have come into this one. NRG's buy likely to be, you know, suboptimal, but they don't want to allow Virtus Pro back into this mentally, because that would be a big factor. NRG want to try and just take the pause, cam, and come up with an idea, and they've gone for the buy here, Alex.
Flashes down Banana, Mihu barreling forwards, only gets 1 kill for his troubles before Ethan puts him to bed with the P250. Ethan is continuing to go forwards, he wants that rifle, and he has been able to recover it. Neo hears the reload, but doesn't get the timing right. Ethan seems to have got away safely, and he goes for more! A second frag found from Ethan, and the aggression gives his team the lead.
Yeah, Ethan really making the difference there. Obviously having the weaker weapon area, they have to find some sort of advantage, and he actually does damage there onto Neo as well, so he could have actually picked up another kill. Ethan definitely the MVP currently for NRG into this round. Cirque can hit that shot very quickly onto Pasha. Puts Neo and Morels in a very, very difficult position indeed. They've got to hold on to the A bomb site. It's only Morels here. He's done a stellar job so far, but only from the pits. This time he has to step up from the site itself. He gets the 1 kill. Breezy will eliminate him quickly, and it's Neo 1 versus 3 with an AWP, so best save that. And Virtus Pro, you know, they still have money left over even if they lose this, so having that AWP, that'll just buffer it slightly.
Yeah, the only real upside for VP at this point is the fact that they've got some money.
Yeah.
They can still buy into the next one, but being 14-8 behind is never a position you want to be in. And I guess another upside, in context of the overall series, is that we have to remember this is NRG's map pick, and at least VP looked somewhat competitive in the first half. Again, they got off to a good start, they won that pistol round, which seems to be something they find success at, and no nade this time towards the pit. All the NRG players are fine. Yep. They'll all live on about half HP.
So, coming into Virtus Pro, they've got the AWP on Snatchy. That'll get tossed over thanks to Neo. After saving, he'll have a little money left in the bank, so he'll be able to pick up the rifle, and the utility is there. So, full buy from Virtus Pro. NRG have the same. So, on paper, this should be one of the more competitive rounds. We love to see gun rounds. So, at this point, Virtus Pro need to start winning gun rounds. They can't afford to end up losing this.
Should see a fairly slow start to this round again. If VP lose this, it's going to be over. And the pre-fire from Breezy is going to open things up. He's generally not one of the most aggressive players on the team, but in this round, he takes matters into his own hands, opening up the A side of things. and that will force VP to respond in some sort of way. When you've got 4 CTs left on Inferno, you oftentimes have to leave one area of the map weak, and in this position it's going to be Banana, which is quite weak. Snatchy alone towards this B side of things with the AWP. As the flash comes in, he decides to commit to the site, switching up the angle. He hasn't really played this position so far, and it's generally a good angle for 1 kill, although it can be a bit difficult to fall back.
So NRG still have the driving seat in this one, right? They can still decide where they want to go. Snatchy having the AWP here, like you said, he's getting much more proactive though. Looking to try and gather the info, but eventually will fall back again. NRG congregating towards Banana. This telegraphs that it's going to be a commit into the B bomb site eventually. Virtus Pro, they've only got the 1 player here, and it is Snatchy. We've seen him pick up a kill or 2. This is a perfect gap for him to play with though.
30 seconds left, the tension rising. Snatchy doesn't pull the trigger, they're up close. Oh, hello, Snatchy, what are you doing in the smoke? He body blocks him, what? It's a double from Snatchy. How the hell has he pulled that off? Using the AWP as a shotgun, and VP may still be in this round, but it's not going to be an easy retake.
No scope, double headshot. Ethan's going to pick up a kill on a Pasha, and it's into a 2 versus 3. NRG, the bomb is ticking, and Virtus Pro, the last 2 players are over towards A. It's going to be a save call, but at least Snatchy gave us something to talk about.
Having a little bit of fun, wasn't he? Just getting into the smoke.
I feel like that's actually a really good decision as well. You know, if he falls back to the bomb site, he's not going to be in a nice position at all. He'll get killed immediately. So going inside of that smoke, he's actually able to make it work. And here we get to see a replay. There we go. That was just excellent. No scope headshot. He comes into vision, and he gets the lucky shot in behind as well. At least he get. I mean, obviously Virtus Pro is still in a very sticky situation, though.
I almost feel like that's just a reaction from Snatchy being left alone towards B. Like a couple of rounds, he's just been stuck having to hold passive positions. He realized that's not going to work for them. They can't really retake the B bomb site. He has to do something, and even in the best case scenario for VP, he gets lucky, he gets a double. It's still not enough when you have him alone towards B like that. And unfortunately for VP, it seemed like that was their sort of strategy at the start, right? To play with the fact that they were leaving him alone towards B. But then once you start losing the opening pick, you leave the AWP alone towards the B bomb site. NRG seem to have just continually exploited that weakness, and at this point of the game, it's almost certain that NRG will get the win, but VP still have somewhat of a bye scraped together.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of different things. They've got the XM in play, the auto shotgun, MP9, M4s. The one round that Virtus Pro did win on their CT side was the round where Neo actually rotated over and assisted Snatchy. Now, it's difficult to hold on against multiple players only on your own with an AWP, so Ethan picking up the headshot onto Morales. Into the man advantage for NRG. Mihu will get the kill back onto Cirque. Into a 4 versus 4, and Neo this time has got banana control, so they've definitely adapted their B defense, but perhaps it's a little too late.
And just taking a quick glance at the scoreboard, you look at the NRG side, and Cirque, Ethan, and Breeze are all up there at nearly 20 frags. So that's always what you want to see for NRG, the big 3 all firing together, which is oftentimes what can cause them to struggle. And oh, here goes Pasha with the shotty.
Yeah, Pasha holding the boiler room. This is actually a really good angle for this auto shotgun. And he'll sit back passively as well. So NRG will come up with a different decision. Pasha goes for the peak. Instant headshot comes in from Ethan. That's going to pull it back into an equilibrium. A 3 versus 3. 40 seconds left on that clock. And this time, NRG looking to finally commit into the B bomb site, but Neo is boosted up. He's got this boost position, and this is so strong. A lot of teams don't actually check this, but NRG got to sell the fake. They got to run back towards A. This is great for Virtus Pro. They have 2 players here in a nice crossfire angle. Mihu takes the initial fight, drops 2 players, and the third. What a triple from Mihu. And Virtus Pro will get themselves another round, and they stay alive by the skin of their teeth.
Very clean kills there from Mihu. Made it look easy, just dispatching of every single player. Again, VP still somewhat alive here. Kind of a close game, but nice round from Mihu, definitely. Again, though, sure, it's getting a little bit close on the scoreline, but even towards the middle portion of this game especially, that's when NRG dominated. That's what's got them into this position. But at least VP are showing some signs of individual play. That's really what we need to see from this VP side of things. So good to see some positives for this team. And NRG have got a couple of weaknesses into this gun round. Only 3 AKs to work with, a couple of CZs in the mix. And again, Pasha getting cheeky with the auto shotty.
This time on the outside of the boiler. NRG have a lot of presence here towards the A bomb site. Pasha There's a shotgun on the opposite angle. He's got the bait and switch for Snatch. He's going to walk in. There's this kill. The second comes in from Pasha. The auto shotgun is doing a lot of work as he looks for the triple. And he's making this work for Virtus Pro. It's Ethan and Cirque having to win a 2 versus 4 here. NRG definitely getting this game brought to them by that auto shotgun of Pasha.
The biceps coming through. Oh, I thought he might get another kill. Morelt was meant to be watching that angle, so Pasha thought he was safe, but the trade is found straight away. And it's Ethan left to find 3 opponents. He could turn it into a couple of one-on-one fights if VP overextend. We'll see if it's possible for Ethan. Got to get the bomb back. That's the first port of call. And with the smoke going down, Ethan's trying to find another angle.
Can't afford to make a... Oh! I want to say, can't afford to make a sound cure. They know exactly where he is, but hits that instant headshot onto Neo. Spraying through the smoke, Morels will give away his position, and Ethan does not react, doesn't take the bait, and will push through himself. He's going to check the angle, but Morels quick on the trigger. It's 10 for Virtus Pro. They make it to double figures, and they're making this game interesting towards the end.
Yeah, that was the full investment for NRG, right? You remember, they only had 2 CZs onto 2 of their players. They couldn't even get the full AKs in the previous round, so I assume it's got to be an eco. And Pasha, speaking of money, he's stacking up cash with that shotgun. You get a $900 kill reward, so VP will definitely be fine.
Yeah, coming into this, VP obviously going to have the advantage after finally breaking the economy of NRG, who had started to build up a nice pretty penny for themselves, so Virtus Pro definitely picking up the confidence. Interested to see how they initially go for this. Virtus Pro put 3 players towards B initially. Will again fall back. He'll leave Snatchy on his own, lonesome towards CT. This time NRG will see what they can get done towards the long position. Mihu not going to check it. Gets a couple of shots rattled off. Neo is going to step up for 2. Mihu with a double himself. The bomb finished off. Now Ethan is last alive again. And Mihu will collect the triple, picking up a lot of frags for himself towards the end of this. An 11 on the board for Virtus Pro. By can't come through for NRG here. It's going to be the 5 rifles though.
Now, that almost looked like my eco rounds in matchmaking, where it's like, we're on eco, just rush. We're not winning anyway, screw it. Let's get this over and done with. It nearly worked for them though, right? Just the fact that Mihu wasn't fully aware of the position. If you can just get that opening kill, again, it's not necessarily such a bad idea. And it is a VP tactical pause, interestingly enough, into the next gun round. They've got themselves a slight advantage, I think, just in terms of the fact that NRG's money may be a little lacking, and obviously VP are fully buying until the end right now. They lose 1 round and they're done, so they are investing everything they've got into every single round. And again, they're starting to just grind their way back into this, right? It doesn't really feel like they've been able to consistently win the rounds, but as soon as they broke the bank, that's when they've been able to grind out round wins. And if they could take this anywhere near overtime, then that would be a positive sign, again, on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, Virtus Pro definitely looking better here on the CT side. They've evaluated that the B bomb site needs a lot more attention, so they'll put 3 players initially here again. Once they're in position, they can decide what they want to do off the back of that. Utility battles going in towards top banana. Smoke is to cover off the vision. Actually, we'll keep 3 players actually here. You know, initially towards the last round, they just put 3 players there and then rotated off with 2 players leaving Snatchy on his own. But this time they want to fight for banana. Mihu this time is the player to do so, but Snatchy loses his head. That's the opening kill for NRG, and Ethan again is the man to find it.
Yeah, Ethan has been an entry machine over towards banana. A lot of the round wins from NRG have come off the back of Ethan's play. He's sticking around, which may be slightly dangerous, although Neo with the AWP will also be falling back, making sure that the M4 is as far away from the action as possible. They're leaving the AWP of Neo alone towards B. Again, we've seen this be a bit of a problem for VP, and you can also see on the minimap a slight reaction to those previous round losses towards this B site. Mihu's playing in towards CT, so he can try and assist Neo as soon as possible, but Neo's got a lot to do.
Comes away just the wrong time, so here comes the push. He's got to see the utility getting used up, backs off towards the coffins. He's got to find at least 1 here. There's the bomb drop. That's a big kill to find. He gets the double. Neo does so much there. And actually gives Virtus Pro another chance coming into this retake. Mihu spamming away. Cirque has slipped through the smoke of banana. He's got the kill on the Pasha, who's trying to come in. Morels is there as well, and Cirque continues to look towards this angle. It looks like it's over unless Mihu can pull off a wonderful 1 versus 3. The time ticking. And Virtus Pro, they've only got 41 HP left here on Mihu. So NRG, again, finding success towards the B bomb site. It's been a common thing for them on this map.
Mihu, you've got to go now, buddy. You're going to lose the game. You've got to go. He's going to finally move forwards, and it's not going to happen for him. It is NRG to close it out, 16-11. I will say that didn't exactly look like the clinical NRG we may be used to, especially on that T side. There maybe were a couple of missed timings. Maybe the team play looked a little bit off on some rounds, and that allowed VP to make it somewhat close. So maybe there's some signs for VP, but NRG, even on a bad day for them here on this first map, with some mistakes being made, they still show their class by taking the win.
Yeah, Virtus Pro towards the end definitely started to chime a few through, but their CT side started off very weak. I mean, they only got themselves 2 runs until they started actually breaking the economy. So Virtus Pro definitely showed signs of weakness. Even on the first half when they were able to post 6 runs, you know, they won the first 3 after converting the pistol, and then 3 very sporadic runs after that. So they weren't actually that convincing on that T side. So definitely weaknesses there for both teams. I think the NRG obviously the more solid one with the big hitters. I feel like Breezy done a good job inside of the pit on their T sides and their CT sides. We've seen even Cirque was hitting the shots, missed a few, but still looked relatively on point. And then Ethan was the main man for me here. I think he was finding a lot of entries. Even on B on their CT side, was doing a good job holding that, getting aggressive. So Ethan is definitely a fun player to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Again, a lot of those picks towards Banana made a big difference. We talked about that extensively throughout the game. Also, the fact that Cirque, yes, did have a good performance in the first half, maybe kind of tapered off a bit in the second half. And again, that's always something we kind of talk about on Inferno. Even though this is a good map for NRG, Cirque's AWP sometimes can't come in on the T side. So that's part of their game that maybe they miss. But still, overall, again, solid win. It's all about getting the result for NRG, and that's what they did.
Yeah, NRG make it work here on the first map. We're going to throw it over to the analyst desk to see what they have to say about it.
Thank you very much, guys. A not so convincing victory from NRG, but it was some signs of life out of Virtus Pro and a few nice points we can take away from it, right? But very much as we expected in terms of what we said. If Virtus Pro can do well, they can get a few rounds in there. But there was a fair few mistakes from NRG in terms of how they were pushing in.
I think I'm going to use the term no respect, but I want to kind of give context to that because I think the way that NRG approached the game was knowing they were the better team.
Yep.
You could see the amount of force buys that they go for. If they were versing, say, an Astralis or a Liquid of the world, that they may take a save or more of a reserved kind of approach. But in this situation, especially in that first half, whenever they had lost a couple of guns and they were able to save 1 or 2, it just was exactly back and forth, non-stop. I think the turning point was definitely that 2-on-1 situation, though, over towards the A bomb site where Daps and Cirque, they double peaked Neo on the quad side. And Neo, he got the first kill, was unable to convert the second. Cirque killed him there. But I think if they were able to get that round, they would have won the half, more than likely. And again, that went 16-11, then maybe NRG might have had to pull their socks up a little bit more.
Yeah, it was a close affair, and I think more so it's to look at what positives we can take out from Virtus Pro here, right? Because NRG, they claimed the win, there's rounds that were there, but if you're looking at it from Chad's point of view, I don't know if you fully agree with it, Maniac, but it's more like NRG, they can kind of have not a backseat, right, but they can take things a little bit easier and kind of save themselves a bit.
I mean, I agree with Chad, right? And also, if you think about what rounds, I mean, where Virtus Pro did win rounds, that was mostly at the beginning of the game. They won the pistol round of the first half, and then they had some sort of a comeback at the end. And you can always argue that, you know, maybe NRG have, you know, they're there. They're going to win the game. So maybe 1 round or 2 just slip away where it shouldn't happen. It never seemed to me that NRG was in any danger in that game. I never thought that VP really had a shot at the map. But yeah, good signs from VP. I think they had interesting gamble on the CT side. You know, they have an understanding that sometimes you can't cover both bomb sides, so you have to make a choice, and that's encouraging. I think there are teams who don't do that, and that's a mistake. So in that sense, good from VP. Also, I like the fact that they didn't give up. They could have at some point. You know, it seemed like NRG was running away from it. They kept fighting for it. That's good going on to the second map. But yeah, I don't think it was as close as the score would say. NRG were still in control.
I think as well, if you look at this game and you look at NRG's rounds, within that first half, they had 1 round which I would consider a gimme, you know, like pretty much a full eco kind of situation that you should be taken away from them. And in the second half, they only had 1 as well, and that's the one where they pushed Archway and Mihu, got 3 kills from over towards mini pit area. And those are 2 rounds of the entire game that I would go, yeah, okay, well, they're definitely VPs. They 100% shouldn't be contested rounds. The rest of them, like I'm talking about with all the force buys, it was just nonsense, right? There was some really good moments from individuals here like this to bring them back into the game. The shotgun from Pasha, obviously in the late stages, But this is good because this attests to a bit of flair being shown, right? Having to work with what you've got. And that's what CSGO, in my opinion, is about nowadays, because every round is almost competitive.
Yeah.
Almost every weapon is viable in a certain situation. Sure, you might need the stars to align perfectly, pigs to fly, and it to be a blue moon. But there are occasions where weapons can all, especially like the shotgun in that scenario, can come in handy and can win you around. That's what we saw happen in that scenario. So if they're starting to trend in that direction, they're using all of the facets of the game to their ability, then that's a good sign for VP, because it means they're not playing like an old version of CS. They're trying to play the modern Counter-Strike, which is a lot scrappier, unless you're the Astralises of the world, and then you make it look like that beautiful CS. It's like, I remember, actually, you would remember, you wouldn't remember, but watching like Very games back in the day,
Yeah.
I'm talking Source.
That's why I wouldn't remember.
Exactly.
Terrible game.
But watching them play and the way that they did their executes, they were obviously all very early round executes, but the way that they made it look was like, it was beautiful, because everybody knew every single role they had to do, and it just flowed. It wasn't messy, it wasn't chaotic mid-round CS. They would win or lose, and 95% of the time it was winning, just off an execute. I remember watching their nuke executes out of spawn. It was just beautiful CS. Anyway, I'm digressing quite
I mean,
ridiculously.
Nostalgia trips, they're fun. We like
I
these.
like that trip. I was just thinking they were the actual Astralis of CS:GO.
Yeah, it was
On
so
Source,
beautiful the way that they did the executes.
and they pushed the game. I mean, we're going to talk about it for let's talk about this game, okay, right? Because if you start on
We're in the
very
wrong
games,
version.
it's never going to stop.
Bearing in mind, I
CS:GO.
completely hate that version. I still know that dominant era in full force, so I can agree with what you were saying there, Chad. But moving on into map 2, as we see the stats go across the board of how these players went, and okay, we've seen it already. We know how well these guys do. Going into map 2, from what you've seen from Virtus Pro, do we believe that there is any glimmer of hope there, or are you just going to say they can get a few more rounds again, we'll see some nice stuff, and we can just be positive that VP are looking better?
I think because it was a scrappy game of CS, Cache is a map. Oh no, I did it again. Cache is a map where
it's slowly converted.
it's a map where if one team can win that economy war, which we saw on here, it's not as easy as Inferno for the CT side of NRG to get lucky and someone to get a multi-kill with an MP9. That's not going to happen as likely on a map like Cache. I think that if we do see that same struggle and VP can come out on top, they can definitely push it the distance. I think as well we saw a couple of nicer signs out of Morels for the first time. He did win that 1v1 clutch for the pit with a very nice shot. He is a player who is... They can't be bringing a support player into this team. That's all I'm going to say, right? So he needs to show us, if he plays well in practice, which we don't know, we don't get to practice against him, he needs to live up to that potential when they actually play tournaments, because they need that third player to be stepping up time and time again. I'm not saying that Pasha and Neo can't do it. They've already proven in this tournament they can. But they need the younger generation to be firing on all cylinders. Yeah,
and I think that's what it is, what we've been talking about. It needs to be like the guys, the young guns come up, they need to be the stars now, right? And if we see some glimmers of hope, some like shining moments that come out of Neo or Pasha, then happy days, we'll take it, right?
Yeah, I mean, as a matter of fact, I know Morales is able to do that. I've played with him a few, EACA pugs and stuff like that. We used to play together quite a lot, and I know he's capable. But I think it is a challenging situation to be like the young gun brought into a team with the likes of Neo and Pasha, and suddenly you realize you have to be the one that carry. You have to be the force. You can't just, it's going to be nice, I'm going to play with them, and we're going to win together. That's not how it works. It's not how it works.
It's
you're
not
going to have to do the
tale.
heavy lifting. You're going to have to participate. I think Snatchy and Mishu are doing it to some extent. I wouldn't criticize their contribution that much. Morris still has to, pull a little bit of more weight in that sense.
Now this is rather interesting. Okay, NRG in comparison, right? Playing against some higher tier competition. We've got North in there, MIBR again. We've actually won against MIBR in overtime of all things. Taking down Renegades as well. And then you compare it to Virtus Pro, who've got a good percentage on it, but the teams they've been in, okay, you beat one against LDLC, you lost NIP, you won against Ago, Flow, Kingwin. It's a mixed bag, right?
I have a hypothesis about Cache, and I want to know Chad's opinion about it. We're talking about how Virtus Pro is trying to play not the old CS. They're trying to be more active and play the current Counter-Strike. But I think like Cache is probably the map where the meta hasn't evolved that much over time. The way they were winning when they were winning, I'm talking Katowice 2014, 2015, I still feel like this is the Cache that's played now. So maybe in that sense, they know how it's still done.
Sure.
It hasn't evolved so much.
Yeah, it's very default heavy. The executes haven't changed a whole lot. If I just see them do the crisscross smokes mid-late rounds, I'm going to be frustrated. Because I remember watching a game and they did it. I'm like, what were you boys expecting to happen here? It's such a telegraph play for a late round scenario.
Yeah.
One stat we did see come up there when we had the AWPA head-to-head was that Snatchy had 13 kills out of his 15 total with AWP. So that's a big factor going into the second map. How much are they going to be able to get him the AWP, and is he going to have the same level of impact if he doesn't have the big green? So we have to keep our eye on that one.
I feel like the team is making an economical effort for him to have the AWP.
Yeah.
He always has it. So either he has a Swiss account bank, Swiss bank account that I don't know about, or everyone is pitching in so that Snatchy has the AWP. Because even when they do like 1-1 army, preferably that's going to be Snatchy with an AWP.
Yeah, we literally, out of all the games we've seen from VP, we saw Pasha pick it up twice on Nuke, and then after that, he even bowed down and was like, yep, Snatchy, have it back. We're going to take this and rock it from there.
Yeah, I think there's certain maps where they can definitely run a very potent double AWP setup, but because of the way that, I guess, Pash uses the AWP, it's more of a turret, more of a stationary type, where Snatchy is going to be the guy going out there, going for the frags, trying to open up the round. So if they need it on the CT side more so, I think that's where we will see that double AWP setup come out. This is a perfect map for that, actually.
Yes.
So do we think that NRG is now still going to walk away with this? Are we sticking to our guns on it? Because from what we saw there, VP, yeah, okay, it looks good, but you just see, I don't care what the percentage says, I don't care what the stats say, NRG is still playing a better level of CS.
Like I said when we kicked this off, I think that NRG played like no respect CS in the sense of they were taking it to them because they know they're better. I think they're going to continue that mindset. Maybe respect them in certain environments a little bit more, because you can see that game, they got pushed to a decent scoreline. And when they took that eco, they went, well, we better take an eco, get full guns up and do an execute. They made some questionable decisions. We did critique one of their rounds where it was like, it felt like they were trying to do an A split, but then they went to go back to B, and it was just very disjointed. So maybe a bit of miscommunication going on there. Those are the things that VP need to hope amplify.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it still has to be NRG here as the favorite, easily. Easy peasy.
All right, well, let's see if NRG get it done. It's time to go to a break. It's time to get us ready for the next map. And the questions are going to be, is it going to be a 2-0 for NRG, or can Virtus Pro give them and their fans a little bit of hope? We're going to find out. And when you come back, you'll have Dinko and Hawker bringing you the rest of the action.
Sie haben eine Big Box bestellt.
Warte, wer war das?
Das war irgend so ein hässlicher Typ, Mann. Riesengroß war der auch.
Hässlicher Typ? Ich mag keine hässlichen Typen.
Ich auch nicht, ey.
Was ist denn das?
Ich glaube, das ist so eine Big Box bei runtime.gg. Vielleicht sollten wir das Unboxing-Video machen. Lieber nicht, ne?
Banks have failed to move with the times, but we don't need them. Back in 11th century Italy, merchants from all over would exchange their different currencies for trade outdoors on benches, which is where we get the word bank from, banca. They started as a way of making our lives easier. Unfortunately, this all changed. As the bank profits grew bigger, customer experience was lost in a maze of paperwork and bureaucracy. They invented new and complicated ways of growing their margins, built on hidden fees and taking liberties with their customers' money. But there's a solution. Revolut Metal, a stainless steel card that does more than just look good. An authority to tear down borders, make our finances as mobile as we are. Free to spend in 130 currencies worldwide at the real interbank exchange rate. Think sending unlimited amounts of money abroad with no fees.
With free worldwide travel insurance. Think seamlessly buying and selling cryptocurrency in seconds and earning cash back instantly in the fiat or cryptocurrency of your choice. Access to 24/7 concierge from your phone to book what you want, when you need it.
For a truly borderless lifestyle. And all this in your pocket.
Demand more from your bank. Revolut Metal. Radically better.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
Welcome back to the Supernova Malta. We are here with the Group B decider match. We've got NRG taking on Virtus Pro. Or Group A.
We do.
Yeah. Virtus Pro, you know, they haven't really looked too good in recent months. But coming into Malta, they've actually looked pretty decent in terms of the results that they're taking. You know, they've taken NRG close on map number 1. Coming into this, you know, Chad was saying on the desk, they've got to pray for Virtus Pro's chances here. Speaking of praying, did you know that Malta has 365 churches, Alex?
No. Why would I know that? Have you gone around counting them all?
No, I just looked him up, I'll be honest. But yeah, Malta definitely is a really nice country. I'm excited to be here. I'm sure everyone is. And at this point, Virtus Pro would want to stay in Malta. So they've got to try and beat NRG here on the next map.
I'm sure they'll stay even if they lose.
Yeah,
It's just that nice. There's no reason not to. Yeah, I think heading into Cash, it's kind of an interesting one because VP have played this somewhat often online and actually picked up some fairly good results. They even beat FaZe on this map 16-5, which is always impressive. I mean, sure, that's an online game, so maybe you can't take as much from it. They've also beat Fnatic on this map. There's a couple of promising signs for Virtus Pro. Some of their recent results don't look quite as good. They've also taken losses against NIP and LDLC. So it's interesting that VP are trying to make this one of their home maps. We'll see how it works for them here against NRG, because this is a map NRG don't play too often themselves. So maybe there is a bit of a weakness VP are looking to exploit.
Yeah, NRG, like I was saying, playing that no-respect style of Counter-Strike, you know, they are the team that should be the favorite, and they feel like they're better. So, obviously, we've seen that. We've seen Ethan getting very aggressive on Banana in the previous map, looking to try and take the game to Virtus Pro, just take the headshots. Although Virtus Pro, they capitalized off that. You know, they took the weaknesses that they had and tried to exploit them a good amount. And so Virtus Pro, they definitely made a respectable scoreline out of Inferno. It could have been much worse. But coming into this next map, Alex, how are you feeling for Virtus Pro's chances?
I'm kind of quietly confident that they can make it somewhat close, I think. I'm not confident they can take the map. That's the problem. Again, I think it should be, you know, fairly close. We didn't see a perfect NRG or anything, but it's still hard to see a way that NRG lose this, you know, even when they're not firing on all cylinders. They've got the individuals to be able to really cause issues. They're definitely a team that has got the firepower. That's something that VP don't necessarily have as much of, but at least we are starting to see the players show up. Some of the individuals on VP, that's definitely what they need.
Well, coming into this is the 9th round, so they will knife for sides. One of these teams will get to choose, the winner of the 9th round gets to choose which side they want to start on. So generally on Cash, I feel like it doesn't matter as much. I feel like Cash is definitely one of those maps that you can have a pretty good half on either side. So seeing it's going in favor of NRG currently, and Snatchy's finished off, so they will get to choose which side they want to start on.
Obviously, another point of discussion is those two AWPers. Cirque very much involved in that first map, as was Snatchy. Again, almost all his kills came on the AWP, as we mentioned. So that's clearly another important part of Virtus Pro's play style. They want to make sure they get that AWP into the hands of Snatchy as soon as possible. And on Cash, there's a fair amount of chance for him to have some freedom with that AWP, I guess. He definitely can maybe use it a bit more than Inferno on the T side. There's a chance for him to force some entries. Obviously, mid control on Cash can be quite hotly contested, so definitely opportunities.
What I'm looking forward to is to see if Cirque can hit some nut shots and going up against Snatchy. I mean, I want to see that ult battle come through. We've seen Cirque in the previous, you know, he was missing a few shots. Took a while to warm up, but ultimately was doing his job perfectly fine, you know, working with Breezy, finding the kills needed. Snatchy, you know, he had some big rounds. I mean, on that CT side, remembering back to the sort of the no-scope double headshot coming in. And so that was awesome to see. But coming into this map, it's Cash and NRG are on the T side. They got a smoke and a flash on Daps, the rest of them with Kevlar, and Kevlar on Virtus Pro all across the board.
VP, one of the few teams that still has most of their players using P2000s. Not really a big difference between the two pistols. Obviously, the silencer is probably the main difference, if anything. A few more bullets in the P2000 overall, which can be something that makes a difference. At this level, though, generally you're just looking for the headshots anyway. And a slow start to this pistol round. Nothing really happening. Again, no defuse kit for VP, so they will be looking to hold the sights themselves. And finally, the first shot has been fired. It's Neo to take the opening engagement.
Yeah, Neo, just sitting back in the sandbags, has Mihu and Pasha relatively close if he needs the assistance. Headshot from Mihu could have come in, but unable to land that shot, and in fact does a little bit of damage onto Breezy, who's dropped to 83 HP. NRG have taken very little damage, but enough to sort of weaken them and soften them up a little bit for these P2000s and USPs. But NRG gathering their troops towards B, along with the bomb, leaving two players a little more conservative inside of middle, but they will eventually come there as well.
Snatchy holding. Ooh, insta headshot. Looks for the second, but Ethan is too quick on the trigger. So the B side under pressure as Ethan keeps going, but that's the bomb dropped. This is going to be slowed down tremendously, and yet still NRG winning the trades. Breezy holding in towards mid, and that bomb is about to get towards B.
Yeah, NRG just tapping away, trying to land these headshots with that P250 as Breezy taps away towards C connector. They run back in here, Virtus Pro, there's only 2 of them alive. Daps back in the ninja corner, he has got that block in his hand, but Mihi runs over the top, hits the headshot on the Daps immediately. Morels and Mihu desperately trying to get this for Virtus Pro, but Fugly has picked up a headshot. It's all onto Mihu, no kit alive, just the Kevlar, so the headshots need to come through, and it's Breezy to collect his own. It's a pistol for NRG.
Quite a difference in the style on the T-side pistols of these two teams. I remember Virtus Pro on Inferno, they started on the T side, and their first pistol round was really fast. They basically rushed in towards the A site, whereas NRG kind of went probing around the map, looking for some angles of engagement, maybe even some long-range angles with the Glocks, which was a bit of a surprise, but it works out for them as they move in towards the B side of things. And VP decide on a full eco, so that makes things interesting in terms of getting that AWP into the hands of Snatchy, something that has been a hot point of discussion. If he doesn't get any kills this round, he will probably only be able to buy the AWP with the with no Kevlar, no nades or anything. So it'll be interesting to see if he decides to buy that.
Yeah. Well, over towards B. Breezy is picking up headshots through walls. Looking for a little more action, but Daps has arrived with the MAC-10. Generally, that weapon will be used for the high movement, but this is interesting. Ethan running right in with a Galil, able to double up. Virtus Pro had a chance there to drop one of their opponents. They get 1 kill through from Mihu. NRG sweep it up rather easily, and it will be 2-0 for NRG. Here comes the buy. Virtus Pro, the AWP immediately out on Snatchy.
Yeah, as I suggested, no nades, no Kevlar, nothing of the sort. All of his money going into the AWP. He's putting all his eggs into one basket, and wow.
Oh, that was the shot. Oh my god, Breezy. So quick on the reaction.
Okay.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Good to see the preparedness come through. Like, you can boost over towards B as well. Maybe that would have been an idea for VP. Maybe that's what Breezy was watching for, but there's that AWP we were talking about. Snatchy has started things strong. The bomb's been left behind, but NRG leaning fairly heavily towards A, and yet Mihu trying to stop them.
Yeah, Mihu looks to want to go for this. The flashpoint comes in, but the spray is just too much. A little bit of a strange call, and actually throws away his life, but Morels is able to capitalize and rectify that mistake as he gets the kill back in. Actually 3 versus 4, but Ethan will make it equal as he's able to pick up a headshot onto Morels. Pasha sitting on highways. Allow his teammate Snatch to come in with that AWP. The Molotov will clear him away from the car. Pasha moving into the bomb site. Breezy will hit the instant headshot. At this point, Snatch and Neo, they've invested so much. You know, safe call is definitely warranted here.
Yeah, they're not looking too interested. NRG able to just kind of creep up towards the A side of things, and VP didn't really respond to that. Maybe they didn't have the information because the CTs were playing kind of passive on towards that A side of the map. And so as NRG moved towards the site itself, VP couldn't get into a position to stop the push to the site. And this is not the start that VP would have wanted on their CT side. Losing the first gun round. Sure, you saved 2 rifles, but will that really mean all that much into the next round? It's unlikely to be a full force buy. I guess it gives you some chance, and Snatchy can also buy some Kevlar to help him out with the AWP, but it seems somewhat unlikely that they're really going to be able to win the round unless something crazy happens.
Some teams do like to just, you know, if they save the AWP over, just buy a couple of pistols around it and see what you can get done. I feel like VP could afford to maybe pick up a few P250s. They've generally gone with a more conservative approach, if not buying Kevlar, and that is definitely the call being made here. They've got the Deagle in play, the P250s across the board for Pasha and Mihu. The AWP and the M4A1 has sieved over. So Virtus Pro still with a chance, as Snatchy will need to step up. He hits the first kill. He gets the follow-up, so Snatchy doing a lot of work here towards B. NRG with a man deficit. Breezy able to step up, but Pasha playing inside of the smoke. He's going to find Breezy. And Fugly and Daps, they've got to make this work. Oh. A nice kill from Pasha. The man is stepping up for Virtus Pro, and he's going to find himself an AK. But a bullet to the head from Daps, that will eliminate him. It's on to Morels and Snatchy. Snatchy has already collected himself 2 kills already into round number 4, and there's plenty of time for Daps to play with. So this is definitely not over.
Daps clearing every single corner. Again, it could be a one-on-one fight towards Highway. However, Daps decides against it, being exposed from maybe one angle too many. He obviously had the smoke for Z, but he's also got time to play with. So with 57 seconds left on the board, Morels is going to rotate away from A. That makes things interesting. If Daps gets a free bomb site, that could make all the difference right now. And it seems as though that's exactly what's going to happen. Daps isn't really going to use any nades here, or at least it's unlikely with the flash and the molly. But now Morels moves into position. He comes back to Highway, and he's ready to spot the cross.
Daps needs to find the instant kill here. Needs a series of 1 versus 1s, but Morels will disallow that. Headshot across the top of the boxes, and Daps will lose his head. It's one on the board for Virtus Pro. Snatchy did a lot of work, but the main man there was Pasha. That P250 finding so much impact inside the middle.
Yeah, definitely did well there in the midst of the smoke. Kind of baited his teammate towards white box at the start, but it's kind of harsh to call that a bait because it obviously worked so well for Pasha. And I think it was his last shot to get the second frag there.
I mean, bait is never, can't always be a negative thing, right? You know, there's effective ways of baiting. It's an actual tactic you need to use. Pasha uses it perfectly there.
Yeah, I just feel like in general, like the connotation bait has is always negative.
Yeah,
but
that's exactly it. But that was perfect from Pasha.
Yeah, did a good job. It's a technical pause into round number 5. Always a little bit of a scary sign. Hopefully it's something that can be resolved fairly quickly. We're still in the early stages of this game, so it's hard to know exactly how it's going to play out, but we have already seen a tendency for VP to want to lean towards that AWP of Snatchy. He's already looked in towards the B bomb site and already found some success there. We do also have to point out, though, Cirque hasn't got an AWP on the T side yet, so kind of been a position where Snatchy has been allowed the freedom with the AWP, Cirque hasn't been allowed to challenge him, so maybe once we start to see those AWP battles come through, that could be changed.
Coming into this, NRG should have enough money obviously built up to get the full buy in terms of rifles and utility. So this is not going to be easy for Virtus Pro, to say the least, but we get to see another couple of these kills from Snatchy, that big impact at the beginning of the round towards B. He hit 2 shots there, not just the one, but coming into this, it's important for Virtus Pro to be able to win this. You know, you can't win one on the CT side and then end up losing the follow-up, because that is just really bad news. That's a nightmare for your economy.
Here's that mid-play I was talking about in the pre-game. Oftentimes a position which can be put under pressure right at the start of the round, and that is the case here. Pasha moves back, and Ethan, going through the smoke, takes a dink. However, the kills are coming in. Trade's coming through towards the A site, and this is a quick push.
Yeah, Morels finally killed, Fugly able to grab one, but Pasha able to double up. It's into a 2 versus 2, and Snatchy has the AWP still in play. Morels is there as well. Breezy and Cirque, 2 very big hitters for NRG. This is not going to be easy for Virtus Pro to win this, and in fact the bomb is going to be pulled back away from A, rotating over towards B, and they could work this with Breezy, but the player's already crossed. Snatchy's already inside of that CT position. This is going to be so disheartening. Breezy could be the punishing factor here for NRG. He can walk right in behind, they eliminate Snatchy, then the B bomb site's completely open for Cirque. Luckily Snatchy gets into the bomb site, so has cover. Breezy unaware of where it could be, but is looking at that angle. He knows this is the only possibility after Cirque is spotting the info here. AWP, it's going to flick down, but Breezy, headshot comes in, B is theirs.
Wow, a safe plant from Cirque, really making sure it's all locked down on the NRG side of things. You saw on the minimap, though, Cirque played that one so patiently, just knew that Breezy had the angle, knew that Breezy had the position. Morels sticking around. I wonder if he's even going to bother going for this one in the 1v2. He's got 2 angles to find. Flash about to be deployed as he pushes in towards the site, and oh no, Morels, wow, nearly wins that fight. Cirque should have found that a little bit sooner, but the kill comes through nonetheless, and NRG convert another round into their favor. Again, into that 2v2, really well played by NRG. Cool under pressure, realizing their position.
Yeah, that will have broken Virtus Pro's economy as well, which is a big sad point for them to talk about, but Virtus Pro, you know, it wasn't a convincing round win, obviously, the one that they got. It was all off the back of that one-off they saved over from Snatchy, finding 2, then Pasha doing some work with the P250s. So in the next one, that's where we've seen the true Virtus Pro of how what we can expect from them. Obviously, the gun round didn't go their way, and NRG back into the driving seat once more. This time, NRG gathering the troops more towards the A site, but still leaving themselves plenty of options. Look at the stance Cirque is taking. They know they should be up against the weaker weapons. Snatchy actually got the AWP in play. So Cirque can just sit back with that AWP all the way back towards T spawn and just hold B if anybody gets aggressive. But there's the initial kill. Snatchy onto Ethan. Neo's dropped by Cirque, who waits for the push.
Oh, Pasha again in towards mid, instantly domes Fugly. The bomb will be recovered, and you could see at the start of that round, there was no real way that NRG were expecting an AWP, especially not over towards A, because Snatchy has always played with the AWP towards B, and I assume that NRG were expecting the save to come in from VP. However, Snatchy had a bit more money than the rest of the team, invests it into an AWP, and Daps trying to find the angle. The spray is a bit sloppy, but it's good enough for a double, and that's all he needed to do. The A site fairly open for business, although Pasha's coming in with the AK.
Pasha's crossed over. Daps is here as well. They line up. Breezy able to hit the shot back in Snatchy. He's going to be dropped by Cirque. So 5-1 on the board for NRG, but that got very messy indeed.
Yeah, unfortunately for Snatchy, Cirque finds him with the AWP, and we said earlier on in this one that it was Snatchy having the freedom to utilize that AWP early on into the game. Now it's Cirque who's got the AWP into his hands, and we're also going to see NRG realize the position that they are in. A couple of MAC 10s invested into this round. They know that VP's money just isn't going to be there, and guess where Pasha's going? To the exact same position again. It always seems like he sneaks away with a kill from this sort of angle, so we'll see if he can do it again.
Definitely with that P250, has been sitting inside the smoke causing problems, but NRG will realize that B is rather easy to take here. Fugly looking for a couple of kills in this MAC 10. Ethan is the first man to find blood. It's on to Pasha, so he won't be finding a kill this time. Virtus Pro, they still got the Deagle alive on Snatchy. Very, very good with this weapon. Remember watching back in his AGO days, used to cast a lot of the DreamHack Open qualifiers they used to play in, and Snatchy always delivered with this Deagle. Let's see what he can get done here. He's going to be dropped by Fugly, so nothing much, but still, there was always the potential. But Virtus Pro cleaned up this time. NRG will not allow themselves to lose against the Pistols again. They're giving themselves a really nice start coming into this T side.
Here is the switch up. 2 AWPs out for Virtus Pro. Again, Snatchy can oftentimes play towards B, or he can switch it up, but with Pasha also taking the AWP, seems somewhat likely you're going to have Snatchy continue over to the B side of things. I would also say that Pasha is a player capable of just holding an angle, which is oftentimes what you do towards B. And interestingly, NRG leaning in towards B at the start of this round. The flash isn't going to be deployed. It doesn't go round the corner, but the smoke certainly will. So Snatchy completely denied by this early utility.
Yeah, Snatchy sticking inside it. What? He's doing so much damage to himself by standing inside that Molotov. 17 HP left. Doesn't get the kill for it as either, so he's got to fall back safely away from this. Neo is the man to pick up the first kill from the back of the bomb site. Smoke's being used up inside his CT, but Neo's doing a very solid job of holding. Mihu gets dropped by Fugly, and it's into a 3 versus 4. Virtus Pro still have the man advantage. Neo's still alive and doing more work into the back of the bomb site. Fugly and Cirque, the last 2 players alive for NRG. They keep coming towards Neo, who's going huge. He gets himself the quad kill. But it's on to Fugly to make the difference. Would have to get the quad kill himself. Already got the 2. Snatchy on the site, not expected it. Fugly will fall. And that was huge from Neo, holding that B bomb site.
Neo didn't pick up a single kill in the first 7 rounds, and then he chimes in with a 4K to win a crucial round for the Virtus Pro side of things. Really well done there, but if you look back at that round, you look at the minimap, look at how many players VP have towards B. They've got themselves almost everyone towards this B side of the map, and sure, it's Neo to do a lot of the work, but he's got the players there to assist him if necessary. NRG used a lot of their utility early on, kind of gave away the game that they were going in towards the B side of things, and if we head into this round, Neo not positioned towards B, trying to get some action towards mid.
This time, Pasha is the AWPer finding the kill early onto Cirque, so NRG left with 4 players immediately into round number 9. Another trade comes in. Fugly has been very good at those trades, but look at this. Pasha's inside the middle. He's going to find the frag onto Ethan. And the attack coming in towards the bomb site. This time, Neo unable to hold. So it's Pasha and Snatchy, the 2 AWPs into this round for Virtus Pro. Need to find a way to allow them to hold on to this bomb site. Snatchy stepping up with 2. It's all on Fugly, and Snatchy comes in for the triple. The AWPs make it work between them. They get 5 kills.
There we go, the two AWPers do it all for Virtus Pro. Again, these chaotic rounds coming through seem to be where VP find most of their success. When NRG have got the structured play, they're generally able to find success, at least at the earlier portions of this one. But some of these recent rounds have been kind of a switch up from NRG where they've gone quickly. And again, another point brought up on the desk. NRG have gone for a fair few force buys into this game. This is another example of that. Only 2 AKs to play with, and that maybe suggests another quick play in towards A. They just tried this in the previous round. We'll see if they've got something different to make this one work.
I mean, this push actually worked for them. If it wasn't for Snatchy finding those kills, it would have worked. NRG were into the bomb site. So they have to try this again. The utility coming in. Smoke for the cross. Molotov split out to corners. Kill comes in on the Morels. Mihu and Pasha, they'll chime in for 2 kills, but Breezy, that's the headshot on the Mihu, keeps it possible for NRG as they keep pushing into the bomb site. The bomb is not yet planted and Pasha just spamming through, so close to hitting the target. But Breezy stays alive. And Virtus Pro can just sit back outside of this bomb site and just hope they can retake this. They need to communicate and keep calm coming back into this site.
Snatchy looks to be preparing a flashbang for his teammates to go for the peak. The flash goes over, doesn't... Oh, it's a smoke, actually. Okay, goes all the way over towards door. Loads of utility being used, but Cirque is still in towards forklift. They've got to deal with this position first. Cirque is going to go down. Breezy getting aggressive, making a play, gets the first. But in comes the trade. Virtus Pro swarm the site. And I think they've got just enough time for the defuse. It will come through in the end. VP continuing to just grind out these round wins.
Yeah, NRG making that expensive for Virtus Pro. They've brought it very close, hitting into that bomb site. You know, they get the bomb down yet again, and they pull it into only 2 players alive for Virtus Pro. So NRG are finding success into that A bomb site, that's for sure. Very simple executes as well. Although Virtus Pro definitely starting to build up a lot of momentum, and individuals are starting to step up. Pasha, in particular, has been very impressive. Neo stepping up. Snatchy finding the triples. They've got 3 players that are really stepping in for Virtus Pro, putting up the numbers.
Yeah, and I almost feel like we need to take this moment to calm things down. NRG take a tactical pause, and I don't blame them, because these recent rounds have been really, really intense. I'm sure they've been quite draining for the players who've had to discuss exactly what they want to do. It was definitely cool to see VP use their utility there. We saw Snatchy being pushed up towards truck, but he actually moved back to line up a smoke and ensure that all the nades could be used for the retake. And that's almost something that's a bit of a lost art in CSGO. Oftentimes teams use their utility at the start of the round on the CT side, but here we go. VP getting aggressive. Miku pushing in towards A main. The push is going to come from door. They've got to be aware of this, and they're not quite in there in time. Fugly finds a frag, and it's a 4-on-4.
Mihu, oh, he gets his head ripped off. Drive-by shooting from depths as they begin to move into the bomb site. Pasha will find the headshot. The double kill coming in from Pasha as he's picking up the triple. Snatchy will step in again, and these ops are doing so much work for Virtus Pro.
There we go, Pasha peering over the smoke, something that NRG maybe did not account for. Again, NRG gets some reasonable trades towards the site, but Virtus Pro are almost one step ahead of them. They're able to rotate over a bit more quickly than NRG would have hoped for, and you can see this is just easy pickings over the top of the smoke. Simple shots for Pasha, but good to see him connect them all as VP continue to make this game close. Again, this is quite reminiscent of the first map.
Morels loves to go for that initial jump peek in the A main, this time running in and taking control. The flashbang will come in reply from NRG. But Morels has done his job in taking control of A main. This should cause a response from NRG to try and take some mid control, as losing main cuts off so many options for them.
Bit of a Shroud boost going on there. It's kind of cool that Shroud has been so impactful from this position. He literally gets the spot named after him, you know, even though he's retired now. He's
so
clearly
yeah,
a legend of CSGO for sure in the NA side of things. Pasha going to go for a peek towards mid. Again, with that one player being boosted towards A, they decide to stack 2 towards mid, but Cirque finds the opening with the AK, looks for more, and Pasha, with the AWP on the other side of things, decides it's time to fade away and fall back towards A.
NRG, here comes the late round mid control that they need. Fugly clearing the angles methodically. His vent is now clear. So NRG, they eventually take mid control. And with losing A main, they don't have the info there, so they're kind of left to go for the B split. Neo is waiting in underneath the vent. Snatchy gets aggressive. Neo and Snatchy, they step up for 3 kills, but Cirque comes in with a quick double. And there's a chance here for NRG. Out of nowhere, the bomb will be collected, and B is theirs if they run quickly. Virtus Pro are rotating very, very hastily, and Pasha on the opposite end of that smoke. Do they wait for the retake?
Smoke is starting to fade now, so Pasha may be able to find the angle. Cirque still in headshot. Pasha takes the fight, and Ethan isn't in position to trade. Oh, Pasha misses that shot, and Ethan's still alive. It's Ethan to make it work. 7 HP at the end, but he does just enough. And if VP just find that trade, that's all they needed. And yet it goes against them. And these rounds have been so close. I don't know if VP's money will be there. That was a big round.
That was perfect from Cirque. He really made the difference in this round for NRG. Finding the triple kill into this keeps them alive as he pushes through the vents and finds those 2 kills. Neo and Snatchy, they look like they've done enough, but just in the end, Cirque comes in huge and Ethan wins the clutch.
Again, these rounds have been so intense. Another tactical pause taken. Interested to see what the money is like for Virtus Pro. I assume it's going to be quite questionable because from what I remember, most of these rounds have been really, really close. Again, it seems like when VP win the rounds, it's by the slightest of margins. They're really being made to work for their round wins, and NRG can still make it close with their individuals.
Virtus Pro probably have a little bit left over, right? And we've seen on Inferno they're willing to go for those buys, and it has been so close. If Virtus Pro have decided to go with the buy, they're going to force into this. They know NRG's economy won't be fully built up, so this is a great chance for them to try and break NRG once more and put themselves in a nice position in this first half. Oh, Pasha. He's been playing with the smokes inside the middle so often, but the initial kill will go in the way of NRG.
Oh, and Pasha's been found. Daps realizes what he needs to do, gets up close with the MAC-10. Someone needs to do something on the VP side now because both the rifles have been lost. And Snatchy finds a dink, but it's just not going to be enough. NRG definitely on the front foot. They decide not to push towards B, which clearly is the correct decision if you have all the information. VP has stacked everyone towards this B bomb site. And NRG realize there's no need to take that risk. They've got the 2-man lead. They've taken out 2 rifle players. And if anything, NRG may think this is a full buy from VP at this point. They've only really seen the 2 players with the M4s and then Snatchy with the 5.7. Interestingly, NRG leaving B leaves those rifles able to be recovered. I think NRG have basically got this round on lockdown, though. It's got to be VP just saving the guns, which is a bit of a shame.
NRG do enough. And so we'll have full control of the A bomb site. The bomb will be planted, confirming them all $800 extra on top of what they'll gather from this. Virtus Pro obviously going for this risky buy. Going to leave themselves with nothing moving into the next if they were to lose these pistols and Kevlar. So definitely the best call just to save whatever they've got. I think NRG know that they'll have literally nothing if they hunt them down, but you know, you do run the risk here of hunting them, that they're going to maybe lose a couple of those rifles. So they're going to go in with 3 or 4 players, just clear those angles, Molotov towards the back lines. That pushes Mihu away from the angle. Fugly will take a fight. Ethan's able to find that, and Virtus Pro will be left with nothing into the next.
There was a gun in Toxic the whole time. There was an M4 just sitting in Toxic, and I don't think VP spotted it, which is kind of a shame. They couldn't get to save that M4 in the end. And again, NRG just about wrestle back control of the matchup. VP continue to push them close, but at the critical moment, it seems like NRG are always able to break them. And look at what it means into this round. VP on a full eco, not a single dollar invested into this one. And because of that, they decide to take a risk. They decide they're just going to try and push mid and see if there's anything they can do.
Ethan able to find a kill on his Snatchy. Fugly will also find one as well. Morales looks to get something done, but hasn't really had the best game here on Cash. Ethan with the headshot. Pasha, the last player alive. Oh, he's done it again. It feels like every time he's there, even if he has just a default pistol, he's still able to make 1 kill work. He just has to bait the rest of his team, though.
Yeah, just let everyone else die.
Yeah,
Get me the 1 kill.
Yeah, give me that kill. Although Pasha is top fragging currently for Virtus Pro, which is really nice to see. Snatchy up there with him. But the problem for Virtus Pro currently is that Morels and Mihu are really vacant. They haven't really been doing too much. I mean, we've seen really impactful rounds from Neo. Other than that 4K, he's only had 3 kills since then. So there is a little bit of weakness here for Virtus Pro, but they would love to get themselves 6. Did Cirque just connect that shot through the box? Pasha dropped the 85. Headshot comes in, and Pasha is eliminated. No kills coming inside the mid this time.
Always love to see the taps. Again, Ethan, I always say it, he's an aggressive player, right? And sometimes that can be inconsistent. We've seen Breezy clear this position before. I wonder if the boost on towards Snatchy will be spotted again. It doesn't seem like they're even going to go into Toxic, so Snatchy has to go off the boost. Over on the NRG side, their frags have been very evenly distributed, and it seems as though Cirque has found another kill, maybe even through the door. It seems like, oh, NRG opened the door inwards to give Cirque the angle. That's a really cool thing you can do. If you get 2 players there, you put them in the right place, you can actually open the door inside to give a much wider angle for Cirque to fire from, and that gives NRG an even better lead.
Ethan going for a bit of a fight towards middle. Snatchy will actually be the man that loses that and is forced away from his position, giving NRG so much map control to work with. Cirque going to make the play, scopes in, swings the door again. They know exactly where he is. Faking towards the B-bomb site. Breezy opens up A. His kills coming in for NRG, but Neo and Snatchy will grab 2 back. And finding those 2 kills, it puts it into a 2 versus 3, which makes this retake much more doable. And still, the bomb is yet to be planted, as the bomb is not out of A main or Squeaky. So Cirque clearing more space. Neo left with a very difficult clutch ahead of him.
Yeah, Cirque secures the site, secures the bomb plant safely. And with it being the last round of the half, Neo's got to go for this. Again, I said he's generally quite a good clutch player just because of all that experience he's got. And, oh, Neo needed that kill. Now they know where he is. Everyone looks towards him. There's still nades to be used for NRG. This is just not happening. Neo is surely going to be dealt with shortly, and it's Cirque to do the deed. 10-5 at the half, and a sad-looking CT from the VP side.
Yeah, there were signs of life there. I mean, Pasha obviously hitting up with some big rounds. Snatchy, Neo, they've all had their rounds here on the Virtus Pro side. Perhaps bar Mihu and Morels, who are sitting there with 4 and 3 kills. Haven't had the greatest start coming into Cash here. NRG, again, just looking like the more solid team, individually speaking, and they definitely have been hitting the numbers. You can see at the top of the scoreboard, Cirque is on 14 and 8 kills, Ethan up there. So you've got your main big 3 hitters at the top of the scoreboard, all pretty close in terms of frags. And we've seen so many times where Cirque has been able to just swing around 180 degrees and get them back into it.
Yeah, quite a few occasions where Cirque's made plays, Ethan has definitely made plays. Again, I always like the fact that Ethan can be one of the best fraggers and also one of the aggressive players, which gives his teammates a lot more room to work with. And a 10-5 half in favor of NRG should be something that VP are a little bit worried about. Heading into their T side, they're going to have to up their game tremendously. Again, it is good to see Pasha play well. He's been a bit inconsistent throughout the tournament, so it's nice to see him up there. I would say Snatchy is easily the most consistent player for VP with that AWP. They seem to put a lot of pressure on him to step up, and he oftentimes does, but it's still not enough for the Virtus Pro side of things. And as we head into this second half pistol, NRG all stacking towards the B site, except for the one player, Ethan, over towards A. If this push were to come through, NRG would likely completely shut them out.
Yeah, so Daps is initially holding that that fight. So if he takes that one shot, he can maybe pick up a headshot. The idea is he takes a shot and falls back. He grabs the information, he grabs the attention, and Fugly will be the man to step up inside that vent. So bait and switch setup, and even have Breezy in the middle of the site.
Yeah, Cirque is over towards mid, and oh, there it is. Daps finds that one headshot you were talking about, and Ethan on the A-hold has actually been able to get a kill on the cross. At least Morels is onto the bomb site itself, but NRG are aware of this. The entire team starts to rotate over, and VP have to battle back from a 3v5.
Ethan on the car, looks over towards the site, but Virtus Pro have control of the A bomb site. But NRG, they've got a kit alive on Ethan, Kevlar on every other player. Me, who goes for a little bit of a fight here, dinks them up. Dinks up Ethan, gets the headshot on a Breezy, and making this work for Virtus Pro, but Cirque landing a shot on a Snatchy. Another kill coming in from Ethan. It's on to Morels to make the play. A 1 versus 4. He picks up the first, looks to the left and right. He's taking the kills through. Ethan was very low, so it looked possible for a second, but NRG, they'll make the retake work, even though Virtus Pro get the kills in the bomb site. Just not enough in the end.
Yeah, Morelt's there from that quad position was almost giving me flashbacks to that Hiko play with the Tech 9. I think that was in an online game ages ago, but that was a really cool play where he was just dancing around that position. And with NRG winning the pistol round, they've got to be liking their chances, although, oh wow, I was going to say VP could just go for the one save, right? They got the bomb plant, but they decide they want to go for the high-risk decision. A full force buy from Virtus Pro. They get 2 AKs for it, so it's not a terrible buy. And they've also got the factor of maybe the fact that NRG won't expect this, right? They might not realize it's a force buy, but just as I say that, Pasha rattles off some shots with the scout, so that could easily give it away.
I mean, Virtus Pro have already shown in this best of 3 so far they want to go for those force buys when the economy is not fully built on the NRG team. And when you are down so much, I guess you've got to try and find a way to get rounds, right? So this is a chance for Virtus Pro to do just that.
Yeah, not a bad buy, and oh, Dap spots the shadow, but Mihu takes his head off. Good start with the AKs. Pasha's still looking for more with the scout. There's a player up close, and Fugly is going to take this frag every single day of the week. Breezy going to get aggressive. That was a risk, but it pays off for him. He survives on 19 HP. Door is open. Breezy still looking to fight. Doesn't decide to take the fight any further, though. He will reposition up the ladder, and look at this setup from NRG. They are really well prepared towards A. This is a shutdown.
Yeah, Neo left with another impossible clutch situation. You know exactly where he is. Hits the first kill onto Cirque. And backs away with 38 seconds left, dropping his way through a main. Obviously one of the most intelligent players within the game, Neo, most experienced. He's going to be moving back into A, but this is going to be a bit of a problem as they've got a nice crossfire set up here. Breezy up inside of Heaven in that left corner. Although if Neo checks this, he's one bullet away from death here, Breezy. Neo's going to find that kill. Looks for Ethan. There was a slither of a chance there, but Ethan is able to take the frag. And I feel like Ethan in these clutch situations has been very consistent in winning those duels.
Yeah, you can obviously see the idea from Neo trying to play with the clock. The fact that he had 40 seconds left meant he knew he had a chance to go towards B, and he obviously knew that NRG would be aware of that, but it only drew one rotator over to the B side of the map, and that crossfire is almost impossible to deal with. The fact that Neo even got a chance onto the second player was pretty fortunate there, and yet it's not enough for Virtus Pro, and unfortunately for the Polish team, they are really struggling at this point of the game. Again, Inferno looked close. Cash, maybe not so much. A 12-5 lead for NRG, a 7-round difference, and it's likely to be made an 8-round difference because VP's buy is in tatters.
Yeah, right out towards the side. Breezy able to pick up one. Snaxy finds one back, but gets 2 in the end. He's finished off by Ethan, and Neo Mihu. It's 2 versus 3. Shots being rattled off from Highway. Although NRG still should be poised and ready. Virtus Pro will be pretty happy to get this bomb plant. Already got themselves 2 kills as well. And on for a little more here, but Neo is finished off and Cirque will sweep up Mihu. It's going to be 13 on the board for NRG. Really trying to rein this in and win this best of 3. I mean, they're pretty close to it already, Alex. Just a few more rounds away.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll look at some positives for VP, because on this map especially, I feel like we've been a bit harsh on them. Again, the fact that Snatchy's consistent with the AWP, that's something that you could try and base your team around. I really like that, and oh, wow.
Well, the odds are harsh on them currently. Definitely favour NRG here. With only 5 rounds on the board, Virtus Pro have a long road ahead of them of coming back into this. If they are going to do it, this will be the time to do so. The ult being pulled on Snatchy, been great so far with that weapon. The rifles are across the rest of the team, but they need to get something working here.
Yeah. Almost now or never. Again, having that AWP in the hands of Snatchy is nice. As I was saying, he's been the player that generally will chime in most of these rounds and get consistent kills. But then again, Cirque has an AWP on the CT side, and you always know how good he can be. Pasha lucky to be alive there. gets away on 21 HP, and he will communicate the fact that Cirque has the orb over to the B side of things, but then again, if VP then move towards A, there are 3 CTs waiting for them, so there's no easy option for VP apart from that mid control.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, pick your poison. Do you want to run into towards Cirque? You do want to walk right into Breezy, Ethan, and Daps? You've got so many big problems you got to face here, and they've got to find some control. A kill or two somewhere. Snatchy hits the shot, but it's not lethal. Pasha dropped to 21 HP on Virtus Pro. Damage received across the board on NRG. So, equilibrium in terms of players and health. At this point, Mihu has slithered in from heaven. This is such a play. He's in such a great position. He can communicate with his teammates. He can't afford to die. Takes the kill to Cirque. Looks towards the vent room. Fugly has to go huge. He holds, picks up the first kill, delays further. The bomb is dropped inside of the vents, and Fugly doing more work as he gets a triple kill. Fugly doing so much damage. It's into a 2 versus 2, and 30 seconds left on the clock. Fugly has to back away. How does he stay alive in that situation, Alex?
Fugly was in trouble. He made it a double and then made it into a triple. I don't know how he's done it, and he's given his team a chance at the round. It is going to be the bomb plant guaranteed, but Breezy looking to try and cause some problems. The bomb will be planted safely, and again, the time forced that to happen. Fugly is finally dealt with, and Breezy's got to get them both. The damage done, the headshot to follow. VP hold on for the round win. But again, even when it looks like a guaranteed round for VP, NRG can still make it close.
NRG in a really comfortable position in terms of the scoreline, right? They feel like they're the better team. They are proving they are the better team. And so across the board, their money will begin to dwindle. I feel like NRG don't need to go for the force buy, right? It's just the save that should come through here. Virtus Pro, just allow them to, pick up a few more, maybe 1 or 2. Probably at this point, only 1 until NRG will get another buy through. So NRG taking a tactical pause, most likely going to be talking about what they want to do coming into the next gun round. And Virtus Pro, they need to just try and get consecutive round wins off the back of this. They need to just win one after another and just take it by round. I mean, if you take this game round by round, you can definitely find your way back into it.
At the same time, it's also important for NRG to have that respect you were talking about, right? We see what we saw previously, plenty of force buys in rounds that weren't really needed. So it's good to see them have a bit more respect, realize that maybe they can get 1 or 2 rifles, but they've got a better chance on the full gun round anyway. VP looking in towards the A side of things. Morale spotting out some information. Bit of a nervy start from both sides in this one, as Mihu nearly gets the reaction shot, not really able to do so. The nade to follow. Breezy chunked down to 44 HP from the early pressure put forward by VP. Again, they're just spreading out across the map, making sure they can take favorable fights.
Yeah, Passion Snatchy collecting the 2 kills. NRG should just be picked apart here. That's actually slithering away with a kill with a USP. Pretty happy with that. Pasha preventing them from pushing through B main and getting in behind his teammates where they could perhaps cause some problems towards A. So Ethan trying to tap away from the car. Mihu will do one better by taking his head off his shoulders, and Fugly, the last man alive, has finally got access into B main, but at this point, a little too late, and shouldn't really get too much, if anything. So Virtus Pro taking 7 is exactly what they wanted.
Realistically, VP should just exit together as a team. I think they've already got rid of the rifle that was dropped, so I assume Fugly won't be able to find anything. Let's see where the polls decide to go. Fugly still sticking around, looking for an exit kill or 2, and Neo's not looking this way. Oh, turns back around in time. And again, VP still alive, still kicking. They may have their backs against the wall, but they're dodging a few punches from NRG, trying to pull their way into this fight. And I think after that full eco, NRG surely have money into this one. Yeah, you can see that the money has been fully invested there on the left side. So NRG will be buying up into this one. We'll see what the buy looks like. They have got an AWP for Cirque. So again, we could see that AWP fight come into play. All sorts of options for NRG with this utility. Although they don't have a defuse kit, which is one slightly negative factor.
So, Virtus Pro, an important round win for them. At this point, everything is important for them. Can't afford to make any errors. Snatchy playing with a little bit of a gap towards the boost position, looking to try and find anything to give them an edge into this. NRG currently have a nice crossfire established between the sandbags and Highway, but that Molotov, that's going to give away Breezy's position. He wants to stay alive, so he throws the smoke onto it. Now they can double peek. Cirque spots the info. No Snatchy is up towards the top of boost, and they can pull Fugly inside of Z connector. This is going to be difficult for Virtus Pro to deal with, especially hit Snatchy with that AWP. He can't look at 3 angles. Make it 4 now as the vent position has someone in it. Breezy, he's going to peek out from the sandbags, picks up the kill on Amihu. Snatchy desperately just trying to spam away and pick up a kill, but Fugly finding success. Cirque dropping Snatchy. It's onto Neo and Morels, but Cirque is doing work. And it's all onto Morels. 1 versus 5. The squeaky door opens wide, and Cirque will collect the frag. It's 14-7.
There's that AWP we were talking about. It goes the way of Cirque on this occasion. Again, even when you're starting to come back against NRG, there's always the chance that something like that goes wrong for you, right? One of the individuals steps up. That was also a good call, I assume, from Daps to start to stack towards mid, because that was a bit of a risk, right? You put 3-4 players in towards that mid position, you're risking losing a site, but they felt they had enough information that VP were likely to go for that mid play. And at this point of the game, NRG have got to be thinking about the victory. They must smell it at this point. They are really, really close, just 2 rounds away.
Yeah, here Virtus Pro have to make the decision. Obviously, they have enough money probably left over in the bank. Pasha should have enough, along with Mihu. They had some cash left over. So they're going to talk over what they can do, get the buy through. Obviously, they would have had to play for overtime if they didn't go for the buy here. So NRG definitely feeling comfortable. It's Virtus Pro, their backs against the wall. They have to try and force their way out of this near impossible position.
Well, the AWP of Cirque is going to go over towards the B side of things at the start of this round. Again, VP have consistently gone for these slow plays. Maybe it would have been worth mixing in a faster paced play, but they go back for the mid control. Previously, NRG went for the peaks, but that nade did a surprising amount of damage. Snatchy has been chunked down to 44 HP right at the start of the round, and the AWP's still sticking around, hoping for a frag. He spots the shoulder. Daps is dealt with. There's the opening kill from Snatchy. Again, ever present for this VP side, and that's exactly what they were looking for.
Breezy's moved into A main though, and that's a huge area to take control of. Virtus Pro, they've got to receive a little bit of map control towards middle, so they push in towards B. Cirque able to collect the kill, but Fugly, he stepped up in the vents position so far, and he steps up in checkers, finds 2 kills, and Mihu and Neo dropped. And Snatchy and Morels left into the 2 versus 4. Fugly moves his way away from that back box and has the help of Cirque inside of the B bomb site. Cirque has the AWP trained on the B in position. Fugly still there, but Breezy's arrived in the vent. It's all on Snatchy. NRG about to take map point here and series point, and Virtus Pro will be left with barely any money left in that bank. So Snatchy, he might just try and get something done here, but NRG surely take this.
I wonder how Snatchy feels right now. Gets the opening for his team. He thinks they've got a chance at the round, and then everyone just dies off on the B push. Really interesting decision from Pasha. It almost seemed like Pasha felt like the B site was clear. He started to move in alone, and his team wasn't really with him. Maybe the timing just slightly off, but it almost felt like that could have been Pasha making the call to come towards B, because he was looking to lead the way, and then the rest of Virtus Pro just caught off guard from that position again by Fugly there behind the box. Just gets the timing really, really right. Again, Fugly fragging well alongside the rest of the team. He's actually got 20 kills so far in this game. The core of NRG all doing their bit. And unfortunately for Virtus Pro, they are 1 round away from elimination.
Coming into this, it was always the prediction that NRG were going to be the team to take it over, but Virtus Pro made it close in Inferno. We've had some signs of life here. Cash, Cirque hitting that shot. That's going to drop player very low indeed. Mihu on 10 HP. They've scrambled what they can together. It's the CZs, a couple of Eagles. And utility being used up in towards A. Morels is at the squeaky door. Breezy collecting a headshot onto Pasha. It's into the 5 versus 4. Man advantage there for NRG finally. Just over a minute left, and Breezy connecting more shots. NRG looking to take it over the line here to take this map and the series. Although Morels is taking shots, Snatchy able to reply with a CZ kill towards middle. And Virtus Pro, they're going to slither back into a position where they can congregate and use the men that they've got left to try and make an attack.
Yeah, they should have free passage onto the A-bomb site, even without the smoke, because NRG aren't in a position to spot the cross. Mihu is even going to go in towards Garage. Interesting call from him. Considering he's on low health, I think Mihu's just looking for the backstab, looking for the flank at the right time. And he is going to start moving in towards mid. So as long as VP can delay towards the site, Mihu's flank may make the difference. Here comes the push forwards. Mihu. Oh no, Mihu misses the shots. That does draw some attention away, but Morelts has got a lot of weight on his shoulders. Holding from quad, spams away, and it's all on Mihu. He's got to make up for that earlier mistake. He's going back to A main, but the bomb isn't planted for him. That is it. Game, set, and match. It is NRG to knock Virtus Pro out here at Supernova Malta.
Yeah, coming into this, we always predicted VP to have struggle up against the heavy hitters of NRG, and they needed one of them to be going there. But NRG, everything was working for them. They actually have 4 players fragging, and that is so scary, even for any team. Cirque at the top of the scoreboard, Ethan was fragging, Breezy was there, and like you said, even Fugly doing work. And sadly for Virtus Pro, they had a very decent start to, I would say, in the first half, but there was only 2 players really stepping up there. Neo had one of his rounds, but Morels and Mihu on that first half were just completely out of it.
And I remember when this NRG team first came together, this must have been 6 or 12 months ago, there was always the discussion that maybe Fugly is the player that isn't quite at the level of the rest of them as that supportive element. But you're clearly seeing he's got a lot of talent, and he's really good, I think, at finding those impact frags in those tough positions. He does that a lot of the time.
Yeah, I've been talking about it for the past few days. Fugly has been that player that I've sort of seen a massive performance in both events. He's been playing well at ECS, and then coming into this one, he's playing lights out. I mean, in that last game, obviously up there with the same numbers that Cirque, Breezy, and Ethan were all hitting. So definitely going to be difficult any day of the week for a team to beat NRG when you've got all the players fragging like they were, and Virtus Pro, just after the recent struggles they've had, just couldn't put it together.
Yeah, I think we were always having NRG as favorites heading into this matchup. It was hard for VP to do anything, so making the first map close, that's at least some sort of positive. Again, NRG maybe not fully on point on the first game of the day, but they clearly proved themselves on the second map.
We're going to go for an interview, because I want to hear a little bit more about what NRG have to say.
Indeed, we're down here at this stage with the coach of NRG, I'm a Pet. Now, Shet, let's rewind a little bit to the start of this series. You go into Inferno, you win the map, but especially towards the end, there seem to be a few rounds where you seemed a bit confused or a bit lost. Can you walk me through that?
I think on Inferno, we just had a lot of sloppy rounds. Just communication wasn't that great, so that just made the rounds really sloppy. Also, they had a lot of weird pushes, with the auto shotty, so I'll just caught us off guard.
Right, now Cash went swimmingly for you, however, even though it was Virtus Pro's map pick. Did you anticipate this map coming up in this series and prepare for it in advance, or was it all routine for you guys?
We expected Cash or Mirage, and we had very light preparation coming to it. Yeah, I think VP is a pretty good Cash team, but today our communication was better.
Now tomorrow, you have Hellraisers waiting for you in the playoffs. First impressions of that matchup?
It's going to be a pretty tough match. Woxing and Issa are a good duo, so they're going to make a pretty tough fight.
Right, so NRG are the 3rd team here at the Supernova Malta tournament to advance to the semi-finals. Let's go over to the analyst desk to see what our analysts make of that.
Thank you very much, Drowlon. That is right, NRG. They've made it through. They did the 2-0, exactly as we expected here on the couch. And that Cash game was a little bit more than convincing, a much better showing across the board from NRG. But first person to come into question is Morels. He was having a bit of a tough game, just a bit.
Yeah, I think when you saw him lose that 1v1, I'm going for a sexier pose, by the way, everybody. When you saw him lose that 1v1 over towards that B-bomb site where he came out heaven, He actually shot first, he just didn't convert the kill there. And you could see, we had the camera shot on him afterwards. He was looking down pretty, you know, in the dumps about that one. That could have been not a swing round, but definitely a much needed round for VP in the context of that game. I liked a couple of things that they were doing. There was a few little tidbits of their approach. Like, they were one of the original teams who, at least from competing against, it doesn't mean that they were the ones in practice, but the ones who had the retake smokes on the B bomb site where they'd smoke off checkers and B main, and then they went to do a similar play. I think they used the smoke on Squeaky Door and A main. I liked a couple of their little... I called them out of 2 rounds in a row where it was A retakes. I was like, oh, they should just save. And they ended up winning both of them. That's good innovation by them, but also sloppiness on the half of NRG that they probably should have converted those rounds. But easy game, really.
Yeah, pretty much that. Easy game for NRG. I think the issue with VP is that you look at them, and as Chad said, a few rounds here and there, you're going to say, wow, that is great TS. Like, the retake on it is nice, but it's too sporadic. It doesn't happen often enough. It's, you know, you cannot win if you're going to have only 2 or 3 rounds that were really great. For example, NRG were up 6-1, then VP fought back to 6-5, which is really great. And at this point, you say, okay,
they're in the game.
They're in it.
Time.
They're in it. You know, they're playing this map, and it goes to 10-5. NRG wins the second pistol, and you're back to square one, where it looks like it's impossible. So these moments of greatness have to be more frequent if VP wants to, you know, play at the higher level.
Yeah, I would say, look, I'm not like throwing people out there. When the Polish scene has to go through a lot of development. Obviously, they're all going to try their hand at the minors and the qualifying stages, and then I think after that, if none of the teams are able to make it through to that phase, which is extremely unlikely considering how cutthroat it is, I would say the Polish team might go through a bit of a change. You know, a couple of players being shuffled around, see if they can find the pieces. That's talking outside of the context of this matchup here, but I think there was, like we mentioned, glimpses, but all in all for NRG, they just went through the paces as they needed to, got the victories they have to, and now they play Hellraisers, right? So
yeah, it's going to be quite interesting, I think, when it comes to that matchup. But like you guys were saying, there's only so much you can really take from a game like this, right? It comes down to purely NRG playing their A game.
I mean, if we want to focus a little bit on NRG, I want to give some credits to Breezy, right? Because in my perspective, he lives a little bit in the shadow of Cirque. That's logical. You know, Cirque is an AWPer, flashy at that, so people talk about him. But I think the improvement of Breezy has, you know, the fact that he's in a kind of new dimension as a player, it has put NRG really safely in that top 10 spot. Because now they are in this position, in this triangle of security with Breezy, Ethan, and Cirque, who consistently show up as players and individuals. And, you know, that makes them very dangerous.
Well, we brought it up yesterday, right, when we were talking about Breezy and the fact that he's one of these new style lurkers doing it properly and effectively right now. He's in a position where, whether it's down to the teamwork, whether it's around to just how he's able to play it out and how NRG work, he has been very successful across the board now, and it's his time to rise on that.
Yeah, I think an interesting thing with North American Counter-Strike at the moment is they can win rounds that they shouldn't, which is with old North American Counter-Strike, they would win rounds where they had the full utility, the full guns, and their players were getting the kills they needed to.
Yeah.
That sounds like a ridiculous statement to say, but when they would have like rounds where it was low buys, it felt like they couldn't contest. And we have to wind back the clock here, I would say, you know, maybe a year and a half to those days. But now North American CS, you look at Cloud9 at the start of the year, we've obviously got Liquid now being super competitive in that same realm, and NRG. These guys all have individuals who can brawl and play that style of CS. So you bring that together with some nice structure, an in-game leader who can call in the mid-round, and now we have North America being super competitive. No one's going to question North America in the realms of World CS because they are legit contenders time and time again.
And this is kind of the telling sign on your screen,
It's the
isn't
trio.
it? Yeah, it's just those guys, exactly who we're talking about, Breezy, Ethan, and Cirque. And to be fair, Fugly did have some real good moments. That bit in Checkers where he was just holding, looking up. It was 3 players from 3 different directions, and he somehow managed to survive it, and they were just pressuring him non-stop.
I was thinking about this one-man action exactly to a point what Chad was saying. Like, there's no way Fugly is supposed to have 3 frags that game. Sure, VP makes it a little bit easier for him, but the fact that he can manage 3 frags from his position, that's typically what Chad was saying.
He didn't panic. He didn't, you know, push out and overextend. He took each duel at a time. They had to gift him those, they had to gift him the 1v1s.
Yeah.
But in a pressure environment, when they're swarming around you to have that awareness, it's still difficult to do. This is why when people critique players who are getting a lot of eco or force by kills, and they're like, oh, you know, there's a lot of stat padding, you still have to make those kills to win the round.
And they're also scary when it's CZs running at you at the same time, right? You've got 5 of them running at you with CZ, and you go, wait, hold up, this isn't as easy as it seems.
Different
you know?
environment, right?
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's not the peek a corner and take that fight. It's a lot more of a sporadic environment to take those duels, and they're able to do it. Look, we did see there was a couple of cool multi-kill rounds that came out from the old dogs. We had Neo with the highlight from within the B side, Pasha with the multi-kill. It was versus versus the Eco. But I think, you know, those rounds, that's great. They stood up and delivered when they had to, and then the retakes were good. It's just when they got picked off and they got strung out a little bit more, that's where they really struggled, and NRG played them like a fiddle within those mid rounds.
So this NRG, right, they've kind of got lining up here for a potential dream grand final. If they can deal away with Hellraisers tomorrow, we can see them try and get that revenge against Liquid and the potential here. And they've had this back and forth across the board. But this NRG, okay, it's against VP, but they did look a lot better, especially when we come onto that cash game. So I think it's all positive signs that they can take into this and be a lot happier, because when we saw them yesterday, they were less than amused with their own performance.
Oh, yeah, definitely, I agree. That's a better phase from NRG, but I think we have to keep in mind, playing against VP, all due respect to them, you can get away with murders a little bit easier than you will against the likes of Liquid. You know, I think there are still some slopiness in some rounds, maybe timings that aren't respected, decisions are questionable, but against VP you can get away with it. It's not going to be the case against Liquid. Sure, they have a chance, but it's not going to be as easy.
These AWP kills again, right?
Yeah, so look, this is the lion's share. So we just had Snatchy as the best performer for the team, and now he's obviously the main AWPer as well. Here you can see the lion's share over these two maps. So he had 13 out of 15 kills in the first and 14 out of 19. Just to test to the point that they're really prioritizing getting that big green in his hands, because that's where the lion's share of this guy's kills come from. That's where he's super effective. So if they can keep doing that and they continue to prioritize that, that's great. But if it gets into a game where it's brawly back and forth, is he not having any impact with CZs? Is he not able to really use an AK-47?
That's the problem, right?
Because for Circa, it was only 10 kills with the AWP, and he had that big round on the B site with the AK, got 3 kills. They got to the site, it was like a 2-on-4 or something. So he's having, obviously you want to have a star AWPer, but you also want a star AWPer who's not a complete and utter liability when you can't get him the AWP, because certain games are going to fall in that favor.
Yeah, when you can't buy it, you can't get the economy going, he needs to be able to at least put something on the board, right, and help out a bit more. And Chad, I'm going to say, right, so you had your sexy pose at the start here. Now you've gone back to normal pose. I realized that no one saw this, but Sadakist was here. So did you just have the sexy pose on for him and then switched out when you come back to us?
I think so.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, it's all
What
making sense.
I was going to do.
That's what happened.
I was going to suggest that we do a segment where like one of us is like laying on the couch, and Maniac could change and he could go in that seat, because this mate at university with what he's got going, he could read our minds. Not like
we could have a session right here. You know, I'll be with the notepad taking notes, and you'll be talking about your dreams. I mean,
do you really want to look into my mind? It could be pretty dark.
We're all got deep, dark places. We can all get pretty. Look, you guys hang around me enough. I get pretty melancholy.
Yeah.
Life's good though. Everyone smile, drink lots of water, and listen to your mum.
I thought you were going to sing that song then. What's that one that's Sun Cream or something, where he talks about the whole life cycle? It's all like a positive thing. It sounded like you were going to do the start of that. You obviously don't know that song. I'm proving a real old moment here.
It might just be like a British ad. Or is it an actual song?
No, it's an actual song. It's a whole song.
About the life cycle of the sun.
Oh, just like the whole like Sun Cream, it's called. That's the name of the song.
Oh, I thought we were doing like an advert for sun cream.
No, we don't have that. We can do advert for Monster.
No, but we should do adverts for sunscreen. Because when everybody comes out here to Malta to get the beautiful sun, you got to make sure you're wearing your SPF 30. Don't go higher than that. It's not needed. I'm Australian.
What if you're like really pale?
It's fine. You don't need. So you'll be all good. Plus,
You'll be
this
fine.
is a misconception as well.
Oh God.
I used to think. There's lots of things I used to think, but this is one that's
on the list.
I used to think that if you wore sunscreen, you wouldn't get tanned. That's not true. If you wear sunscreen, you just don't get cancer. So wear sunscreen.
Okay. So what do you wear then? Like the real low one?
I don't wear any. But don't listen to me.
It's gone now. All right, Chad. So you're potentially giving yourself something that no one wants at all. I definitely don't want you to have. And you should probably take your own advice.
Yeah, but I'm not really in the sun. Look at me.
Yeah, we don't see the sun that much.
Yeah,
I
true.
take
We're
vitamin
stuck in
D
this.
every day.
I have to do that as well, yeah, because we're just stuck indoors. Not natural light. It's one of these things. But that's why we need more events here in Malta.
There you
that's
go.
the way we want to go.
We do.
Hopefully. Anyway. Finally. We
Where
can
were
do
we?
it. We can go now.
Yeah,
it's
we can
time.
leave.
We can go for that break. Thank you very much, guys. We'll be back very shortly. Next up, we get to see if Big can get their revenge against Tyloo. And this time it's going to be in a best of 3. Now, Tyloo did look good on Overpass. They've been adding maps to their map pool. But can they get it done when it's crunch time? Because it's elimination moment. We'll be back very shortly. And when you come back, we'll start to break down that game.